right? It's considered maybe Drake's best work, his most introspective work. And it's filmed at a restaurant called Yoso's in Toronto. It's like a Eastern European like fish joint. And like here, and you pulled the picture, like Tim at a table. He's got a bunch of like gold like cutlery and like
Benjay is OVO. I fuck with that.
Like very
OVO Benjay.
And so we were in Toronto once during World War II for a show match.
Seen a lot of these guys saying they're over with. Apex done with it. Kason leaving. It's kind of sad. It was a sad day for a lot of OG FaZe fans. But the good news is FaZe Esports is still alive and well. And they had some good PR shortly after that, Ben, obviously when they signed Alluka. But we'll get into Alluka stuff in a second. Talk to you about this.
I want to know if they talked about what we talked about earlier.
The guy that I think I saw, like the guy that owned DraftKings or was part of DraftKings, he was part of FaZe, and he started to ask the guys for what 20% of everything that they were earning, basically, and they were just kind of like, nah. I kind of understand both perspectives. Obviously, from a business aspect, it's really hard to make money unless you're operating as like a high-end agency, which I don't know if they were doing that. And that's from my understanding of the situation.
I need the Benjay take right now. I need it right now more than I can breathe. Come on, Ben, start yapping.
They're like, no, I'm kind of going to do my own thing. And that
how did Benjay get in the COD scene? He was Clayster's mod.
All them kind of departing.
Yeah, I mean, basically, FaZe at one point tried to go public before COVID, and then it popped during COVID. And the SPAC, they use what's called a special purpose acquisition company. I don't want to explain what the SPAC is.
Yeah.
But
the point is they went public are you talking about?
And then it popped during COVID, and the SPAC, they use what's called a special purpose acquisition company. I don't want to explain what the SPAC is.
Yeah.
But the point is they went public and it didn't work out. It was during peak like FaZe corporate. And then kind of towards the tail end of that, that's when like Ricky and them really started their PR campaign and trying to wrestle a lot of control of the company that they had given up over the course of a few years once they'd moved up to LA and met a bunch of people. And then it kind of ended with Game Square, which was an owner of Complexity, but think of Game Square as like a Texan-based, Jerry Jones is an investor, like a very Dallas DFW-based company that's trying to get into like gaming. They purchased FaZe and took them private. And then subsequently, at around the same time, they basically agreed with Matt Kalish, who is one of the co-founders of DraftKings, to spin off a subsidiary called FaZe Studio from FaZe Esports, from the FaZe clan. So the structure was there would now be essentially two separate companies. You would have FaZe Esports, which does not own the intellectual property rights, I think, to the FaZe mark, but they are an esports company that uses the FaZe name. And then you would have the FaZe Clan spinoff, which is called FaZe Studio, which didn't own an intellectual property. And there's some kind of licensing branding agreement. I don't know. Anyway, so we're talking about FaZe Studio here. It's FaZe Esports, totally separate company. And basically what happened is like the idea was Ricky was trying to reboot, FaZe Clan. So they had Ronaldo. Rage was doing some FaZe content at the time.
Max too, right? And then they had that.
Well, no, but Max, Jason, Lacey, and Silky were all the ones they signed as part of that rollout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Rage too, but like, Kason was already there and he was doing content with Rage. So Rage was already in the FaZe universe at that point. But the other guys weren't as much. And what happened is that I think, from what I can understand from all the Twitter drama, is like those guys didn't have, when they got brought on, like they didn't really sign any paper that said, hey, you're giving any percentage of your income or brand deals or any kind of revenue split back to the company, right? For them to make money. Because they raised all this money from Kalish in order to fund the house, fund clippers and cameramen and resources.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And then he looked at it and he realized we can't make any money unless we take 20% from the dudes, right? But they had never signed anything from the creators, but they had never signed anything prior to that. So that's like the tug and pull from this, right? Like that was my huge takeaway, which like, listen, I understand both perspectives. Like, I mean, I do. Well,
no, I mean, there was just no,
it's just that's a tough situation.
I don't know.
For the creators. I mean, who's going to willingly just be like, yeah, I'll give you 20%. You know what I mean? Like that's, unless it happened before. I'm just glad.
I mean, 20 is a lot for sure. I mean, 10 would be like what you would give like
that's standard for an agent. Even 20 for like, you see that in some agencies and stuff, but I just think with the level of creator that a lot of these guys have gotten to at this point, it's tough. But yeah, man, it's super sad. I mean, I was around obviously the beginning of Faze. I was a part of the earliest Faze esport team, and it's been around.
I've talked about
so
this in circles for a while, so I don't really even
a lot of things come
care to open up. I just want to hear their opinion, but I don't really care to
FaZe
open up that
wasn't massively affected by this
conversation again. And Riley with a resub, thank you.
And we'll pull this up. But yeah, Faze esports here to stay. They let out a tweet. I mean, obviously we need Faze in Call of Duty. It's ingrained in our Call of Duty culture. There's a ton of Faze fans. They're some of the loudest at our events. And you know, Paul, a guy you're very close to, you talk to a lot. He's done a great job, I think, so far over at Faze. Yeah,
and to be clear, Paul is on the board of directors. Paul Hamilton, owner. So let me explain this structure. So Paul Hamilton owns Atlanta Esports Ventures. I don't know if they're going to rename the company now that they're in Vegas, but they're that's the entity that operates the Faze Vegas spot, and they license the Faze mark in order to use in their stuff. I don't know what that agreement looks like. There's kind of some commercial branding licensing agreement going on there. Paul is also on the board of GameSquare, for what it's worth, and owns as you can see, because it's in 10Ks and 8Ks, they're a public company. He owns a percentage of GameSquare as well as part of that. Like, he's got stock. So just to be clear, like, the Vegas Faze is also a separate company from Faze Esports. I literally sat here on stream a couple days ago and like made a fucking chart. Wait, do you want to see the chart I made?
Yeah, sure. Send it over.
Bro, I gotta.
Here, you can put it in the call channel and all.
I gotta find it. Hold on.
Yeah, take your time. Oh yeah. So wait, was he a part of like the GameSquare acquisition of Faze? Like, since he's obviously a part.
Well, I think Paul was already a board member of Faze Clan Inc. before that.
Oh, okay.
For what it's worth.
Yeah, we know that it wasn't Ricky. It was the Matt Kalish, I think. I was asking. And from what I gathered, what was available to us from the timeline, which is like Chinese telephone, like you just don't know what's true and what isn't. You kind of have to like piece it together, and usually like, you know, you need both sides of the story and the truth somewhere in the middle. But yeah, it's understandable, like, kind of why they butted heads. Obviously, if it wasn't agreed upon before, but yeah, I mean, it's just hard for, you know, some of these esports teams that have.
Hey, Watts, much love, bro. Hello from the UK. What's up, Aaron?
Yeah. I can't find my chart, but I did on stream. I did on stream a couple days.
No, Faze should have been making some money, bro. Like, the sponsor. I just don't understand the sponsor aspect. Like, I don't know how they weren't bringing in a ton of big sponsors with how big these guys were. It's so confusing to me. That's the part I don't understand. There's some things that just don't make sense about the whole thing. Obviously, those creators, once they blow up, are not going to agree to give you 20%. I mean, that's only possible if you ask them in the very beginning. They were all brand risks in, bro. Shut up with that. Not every sponsor in the world is Disney or Coca-Cola or Nike. Like, there are still a ton of big sponsors that are willing to work with those guys. Like, you act like they were putting out fucking, I don't even know, like, the worst of the worst. Ron said there's a reason he just couldn't say it. Yeah, that's the part I don't understand. I mean, they had so many viewers and staying, everyone talking about them.
Vegas, it's here to stay, guys. So no worries from the Call of Duty League side of things. Some of your favorite creators might not be repping that logo, but these guys are here. And you can see Faze Vegas. They made a
I want them to talk about Alluka. I want to see if they talk about what we just talked about.
I know we talked about this off stream a little bit. This is a pretty good move for Faze Vegas. Now, you just don't see this often from a team of this caliber going out, getting the next, like, you know, hyped up guy coming from challengers. And also when you have like a star-studded roster that's currently playing really well, right? You know, we were going back, and feel free to post in chat if you guys have any other, you know, comparisons to this. Some teams that have done things like this before. I mean, you think back to Faze with Dante, with Sib. They never actually like activated him and put him in the lineup, but there's precedent. Like, Faze has done this before. Like, Dante was really good. He substituted on their team early in the CDL, and then Toronto having a Insight super last year, and it works. You know, like, if you get these guys in your camp and they can kind of still obviously playing challengers.
Toronto having
learn
insight. That
and
was a
kinda
fucking
get
inside
comfortable
job.
with,
That
like,
was a setup.
the pro scene, and just knowing like I have a concrete path to becoming a pro. I just need to continue to get better and grow. And it typically ends really well for those players. Like they end up being, stars in our league. I mean, we've seen it win championships. So I think Faze getting ahead of this was amazing for them. And not only that, it's going to apply a lot of pressure to the players on the team. If you're Draza sitting there, it's like, okay, let me lock in. You saw his tweet back, nothing but grace. He's kind of just saying like, hey, congrats to the kid, excited, this, and that, and the third. Like, this could be really, really, really.
The Huntsman
really
scrims
good
are starting up
for
again
FaZe.
soon,
And
guys.
then on the
They're
other
playing
side of it,
Dylan
it's
Rex's
a
team next. Eric
talking
Boom and
point,
them.
as you see in chat, a lot of people like LAT fumble. I mean, yeah, potentially a huge fumble by the LA Thieves, and they're coming back from break, so you can't read super far into this, and we're going to talk about this later. But I'm seeing like scrim results where they're getting slammed by this kid. You know what I mean? So definitely would be some things to talk about, at least with these two teams going forward. And Alluka is going to be applying some pressure. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I think you kind of cover most of it. I think for Faze, I think they have to think about the rest of the season and next year when you think about contextually what we expect is going to be probably a pretty crazy offseason with a lot of players being free.
Before you continue, let me ask you this.
I'd rather watch you beat me than watch this boring ass convo. Well, I mean, no one's
okay. So
they don't got to watch, bro. I'm interested in this.
From what I know, his is, Scraps is, Paco's is. I think there's a couple optic players who probably are floating about. That's not to say the optic players won't resign, but
that's almost even more like important to this discussion than this immediate.
No.
I just missed that. What are they talking about?
There's gonna be a lot of
kind of not.
Well, it is though, because you think if there's a lot of people contracts up, and we've all kind of alluded to like the Falcons making like the super omega team after the season.
Yeah.
Then whoever has like guys like this signed to their team,
I should build my background kind of like Ant. Like I should have like shelving set up like this with like some green LED or something behind me. I kind of like the way his room looks.
Like you're set up in a pretty solid spot. You know what I mean? Especially if he ends up being, a top player, really good player.
I mean, kind of. Again, it's like you have to check both boxes because for Faze, like Draws hasn't played that well at the beginning of the year. Although I think Zach's been hella grinding the last couple of weeks. That guy is just him and 04 playing fucking S&D Charles every single day against all other pros.
As they should.
But Faze want to win a chip. Like they got to think about potentially moves you want to make this season if you want to get better. And then also next year in a potentially world where they're in like a full rebuild. And Alluka is someone that had a lot of buzz going into this season.
Alluka makes sense for Faze because Faze is just not like a known quantity yet. Like there's no way to know right now if this mix of players works. Before, that was never a thought. When you have a team of Simp, Selim, and Abizi, it's a known quantity. There is no room for change among that group. The only thing you would maybe change is the AR player. Slasher came in. There's been some different players there. But this makes sense because they're truly not sure if this four can go toe-to-toe with all the top teams from event to event. So that's why Alluka makes complete sense. It's not a situation where you have the trio that was a team for 5-6 years. It's essentially a brand new roster that you hope works, but now you set yourself up for success in the case that it doesn't. So, I mean, from Faze, it's a fantastic play. I mean, Faze made the right move here. It's a win-win. If their team plays well and they don't need to use Alluka, perfect. If they need to use Alluka, perfect. They got him.
Because there were, last spring when it became clear it's coming over to NA, obviously a lot of people following challengers are like, if you're on this kid, he's next up, checks a lot of boxes. And then obviously he fried in that first cup, like absolutely just cooked a bunch of people that were pros for a couple of years. And what it seems like, based on, you can pull up Rafi's tweet, it seems like contextually what might have happened is that literally that night, it sounds like to me, Mob connecting the dots, it sounds like Kason hit up Rafi like Insta that night.
Yeah, I mean, well,
like,
we talked about it.
He was like, yo.
So when we had him on and we were talking about it, and like all those teams had reached out, and like that Intel. I think it might have been Ronnie. I'm sorry.
Scroll down this tweet to Kason's reply, and then finish your thought.
So you guys can see both. Appreciate you having me get this done. So we had talked about it on the show on the very last episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Ronnie or if it was another Intel account that tweeted out about it, and like how, Kason maybe had started conversations before maybe it really should have, and it had gotten out. But we thought that was kind of like a PR thing. Like, we didn't think it was going to be real, and it ended up being real. And now, like, I commend the move. But it's just to say like how fast things move, because this was literally like 24 hours, maybe 48 hours after everybody was just gassing the hell out of him, right? And like all the offers had started to flood in. So honestly, I gotta give a shout out to Kason, man, and to Faze for making the move, because he would have got snagged, like, for sure.
I think so. I mean, I think this is a good spot for him to go, because they have a championship pedigree there. They've won a lot in the history of the CDL. They know what it takes to win. They know what's commanded or required of the players. And so as he develops, he's going to have a lot of really good touch points, both with the coaching staff of RJ and Crowder. You've obviously got Matt Fisher as well from a mental performance side. So Matt can start to teach him sort of the basics of what they have there and what they expect. You've obviously got, Kason and Paul and Eric Hamilton that you can lead on for more professional direction. And then obviously the players, like playing with those guys, Chow's, obviously probably interacting with them in person in Major One. Like, I don't think because of his visa situation, right, his eligibility to play right away is not likely, because he's got to convert a student visa to a work visa, and that's going to take some time. But, he might be a piece that pays off for Faze at the end of the year. And to your point about Thieves, I do think this is a miss. And it 100%. May not be for the reasons you think, because it's for the two boxes I just talked about. Is Kenny the long-term solution for them throughout the season to win a championship? And then next year, when I'm going to be honest, and Thieves fans are not going to want to hear this,
their players might get poached.
I'm sorry. No, it's worse than that, actually. Not only do I think Paco and Scrap are going to get poached, I think Thieves and Faze can go probably band for band when it comes to contracts. But I'm telling you, I think what Faze offers, and I think this is Kason's value, I think when it push comes to shove and you're siding between probably two different contracts from both those orgs, I got a feeling that people are going to pick Faze over Thieves, and Thieves may be in a situation next season. They don't win a championship this year.
Wait, why? It's all about the roster. Faze have Simp. That's why you say that. Organizationally, it's
looking more like that Byron Nasty, Dan Ghosty, Joe Deceives team from a couple of years ago, where they're in a completely full rebuild. And they're not going to be that second or third super team.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this just gives them a lot of leverage. Like, if you're Faze Vegas, right? Especially if he keeps improving. And we saw early CDL how successful it can be to do things like this, or to pick up a player like this and develop them, or potentially bring him into the lineup. Just gives you different avenues, right? You just get ahead of things, bro. And how many years have we seen the guy that gets picked up early from challengers and it turns around a team or creates another team that's kind of in the discussion where
I don't think the org, like, I disagree with Ben in terms of him saying players will pick Faze over Thieves as an organization. The players will pick whatever roster is better at the end of the day. It's the only thing that matters. When you're picking between going to a Faze or Thieves, you think, what roster is going to be better? Which team, assuming they're paying the same or very similar, it's all about the roster. So I don't know what the hell he's saying between organizationally. I think people will pick Faze. I don't think that's remotely true.
Entirely. Like, it's like three birds, one stone, where it's like you're not letting him go somewhere else. You have him for the future, and it's going to apply some pressure, and it helps you in contract situation going into next year, where it's like, okay, we're going to lose this guy. It's not the worst. We still do have somebody who's next up. So like I said, bro, I'm saying shout out to this move, but I can't stress it enough. Faze made the play here. Like,
Faze made a great move.
And you think he's good, right?
I do think he's good. I'll say this. I'm not saying this from a perspective of like, oh, he's dominant, like this guy's going to come in and run shit. I'm saying this from a perspective of like, he can develop and become really good, especially like you said with the system that they have over there. He obviously needs to get more reps. I mean, we watched him in the cup. You watch him in the cup, and like he has maps here and there, but it's not like he's some dominant like simp force just yet right now. So, for them, you develop him, you give him some time, and maybe he comes in if push comes to shove, and they start to underperform, but you stop all the other teams from grabbing him for people who are already massively underperforming.
I mean, you're a former professional. Like when you watch Alluka,
Great move, but if Faze start to fry, he's in a weird spot. Dude, the reality is Alluka doesn't have many options in terms of he has to be a substitute on a team in order to get a visa. There's no way around it. He cannot start right now. Let's say hypothetically, Thieves wanted him just for conversation sake. If Thieves wanted him to start today for Kenny, it's not possible. He has to start as a substitute. Someone has to get him a visa. Then once he has a visa, he can transfer it to a different team. That's not the problem. He literally can't start. So if FaZe offers him a sub spot, he doesn't really have a chance. And obviously, if you're going to take a sub spot, you want it to be on a top team that maybe you have a chance of playing for. Simp is obviously a player that people want to play with. FaZe is a top team, so it makes total sense. But FaZe has nothing to lose in this situation. They've covered every single. Is that a rule? It's the visa thing. He needs a visa to play. He's on a student visa right now. He needs like a P1 or whatever visa you need to play in the pro league is what he needs. And that's not going to happen overnight. Why do you need a visa? Because he's from Germany.
go play in these streams.
He's talented.
Like,
he's super talented.
F factor.
He has the F factor. He can shoot well. His comms are actually like pretty good.
Really good. Yeah.
Only thing I will say is like sometimes he will go on like a
Alluka is not the player people think he is. Dude had one good weekend and has gotten stopped since. I think he will fry bottom teams, but not even compete against the top. Well, how the fuck would you know? Like, that statement is just stupid. You have no way of knowing if he's going to fry in the pro league against top teams or not. You're just throwing shit at the wall and hopefully it sticks. It's just, I mean, that's just brain dead. You're just being a hater to be a hater. I mean, I think Alluka has a ton of potential. I mean, if you just watch his POV based on the eye test, I mean, he looks good. Just his opinions in? Well, then, like, but how do you form that opinion? If you watch a player fry in challengers tournaments against the opponents that he has to play against, that's all he could do. And then when he scrims against teams like Thieves, he plays very well. So what have you seen from Alluka that makes you think he's not going to play well against top teams? It's just silly.
A couple streaks of deaths, like he'll have these streaks where he goes on like 5 or 6 where he's just taken over. He'll have some where he goes on some death streaks, or maybe he needs to reel it back a little bit. But that's everybody, bro. When you're first starting out, this is a young kid, man, and like playing in challenges is not exactly the most structured thing, right? So
you can be taught how to play your life a little bit better
100%.
though. That's a very learnable skill. The one thing you can't teach is just getting into like a fucking flow state. Like the Simshatsy thing of just and Hydra thing of just getting in a flow.
What people don't take into account is that Alluka will likely get even better when he's practicing against the best teams in the world on a daily basis. Like, you can only be like when he's playing against Optic and Thieves, like let's say he starts scrimming with Faze. When he's playing against the best teams in the world, he's gonna get better and better. He's gonna learn. Like,
how to readdress and just continuing to be a fucking tornado on the map.
He does something like it's like almost every other life he does some things where you're just like, how many people can do that? This guy's unbelievable. Like, and he can use both weapons, which is also really impressive. Like at a super like high level individually talented wise. But we do need to see a little bit more. I mean, I'm of the camp where I gotta see him in some big moments. And
yeah, well, you got elite qualifiers this weekend, right?
Yeah.
They're probably. I mean, he's on that OMID team. 12 teams are going to qualify for the elite in NA and EU. They're going to make it.
I would also be
to see him play.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off.
As I say, he's going to play a couple weeks in the elite. I think OMID will be one of the favorites to probably pull it. Although I do think we'll probably talk a little bit more about.
you think he's so good? Why didn't you pick him up? Well, we're comparing night and day here. One team is a proven back-to-back championship roster, and one team is an unproven team that changes for the first time in 5 years and isn't a known quantity.
NA Challengers, but NA Challengers right now is like, it's pretty wide open. There's probably 6-7 really good teams in NA Challengers right now.
6,
I would
7.
also like,
and then you got
aside
Major
from
One.
Yeah, you got to see him on land, and then aside from like the playing stuff, like he does have some. There has been some clips I've seen where he, like, mentality-wise, says some things where you're just kind of like, I don't know, like, just chill out a little bit. Where he's taking some shots or saying like, I'm way better than that guy, which, like, I love the confidence, but those are some things that Faze picking him up, they'll be able to mold or get out of him a little bit.
Scrap was doing the same thing.
Stay
I mean, yeah, but like, yeah, you kind of want people to have. We talked about this a bunch. Every professional player,
Scrap was literally doing the
has
same
an
exact
ego.
thing.
But what they're very effective at is funneling their ego into work ethic. The worst players are the ones that have a big ego and then don't use their ego to get better because they just think that they're better than everybody else. And yeah, maybe, but like other people work harder than you and they pass you. So I think that's a skill that that's the thing he's going to learn from the Faze camp because they are traditionally one of the highest work ethic teams in the CDL. They probably usually play the most scrims, get the most sets in. Yeah, it hasn't always resulted in them winning, every championship, but like there's a reason they've been consistently good outside the skill level that team has had. So I think it's a good situation for him. I think it's a big miss for Thieves. And I think if you're Thieves, even if, let's say you play good this split and Ken plays great, and let's say you win or you get top 3, this Major 1, they need to pick up a sub player. They need to be very aggressive after this Major 1 cycle and picking up a substitute player to supplement their team. God forbid they need to make a change in the middle of the season because there are going to be a lot of players that are really talented in this league right now in challengers who are going to get into pro teams immediately after this event.
Yeah, 100%. Because we've talked about it. We talked about it last episode briefly, but because of how important stage 2 is, it's
correct.
It might be the biggest, I guess, in-season roster mania we've seen in years, just because of how important, like we said, stage 2 qualifier is going to be. You're going to play 11 matches. You're going to play every other team. It's a massive opportunity for points, and the fact they have Alluka is huge for them. It gives you an option.
Is Faze the best choice in your opinion that Alluka could have joined? I mean, one of them. I mean, it's between Faze and Thieves sub spot.
I think Alluka comps more as more a flex player right now.
Mm-hmm.
So less than like an aggressive sub. So I do think that have like a roster change, it would fall on Draws' shoulders. So, but I think Zach is like, listen, Zach's a very professional player. I don't think that this Alluka pickup is going to throw him for a loop like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he knows that he's got to play better. I think he knows that Faze is a business and they have to look after their team short-term, long-term. But he's in a very good team. That's obviously a team that, is really new. They have 2 players that team with each other you're putting together, so they need to figure out roles. And, like, I don't think they're under tremendous pressure to, like, win the first event like their past teams. You know what I'm saying? When they had to sell him in a BZ trio, it was either first or last. I think now it's like, if you go to this first event and you get top 4 and you lose to the team that makes winners, the 2 teams that make the finals, it's like, okay.
So,
we want to win, but like this time we can build upon.
Moving on, let's talk briefly about the cup here. I wasn't able to catch too much of it. You watch here and there during the holiday break, but
yeah, I'll watch pretty much all the cup.
I did.
Yo, say what you want, but shout out to my boy Ant and Ben for bringing back the podcast, the Codcast. I think the more the merrier. So whether you enjoy it or you don't, I personally love that they're doing this. Make sure everyone drops them a like, sub, the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna link it in the chat real quick, but make sure to show them some love.
I want to bring this.
I wish
up.
there was like timestamps.
All the cup, and I saw somebody put
Hey,
his name
Hector's
in
in
the
a
chat.
comment.
UK obviously had some crazy stats from it, and then
I don't.
if that's what they're hoping for,
listen,
that might be really, really difficult.
I talked to. Listen, I think people got to not shit on this idea. I actually do think that there's a lot of value that Barstool will bring to Activision. From some brief conversations I've had with people at the league, I think they definitely see the value of Barstool in what they've spent the last month and a half.
Yeah, they fucking care. We have teams that don't give a single shit to propel the needle forward. They don't care. When you have an organization like Barstool, one of the biggest sports media companies in the entire world, with a passionate ownership group who are putting out content every single day, basically, compared to teams that pay bottom of the barrel, don't post content, don't have a team house, don't have team apartments, it's not even, there's no argument against it. You have a team that's going to contribute to the ecosystem compared to teams that don't give a fuck at all.
Is get connected with the guys, really understand what they want to see out of the business. How can they help? You guys going to be coming to majors. You want to be involved with watch parties. You want to be involved with challengers content, and really understanding, at least like year one, how these guys are getting involved. Is there a situation that Activision Blizzard Microsoft tries to do a greater commercial or business deal with Barstool? I think absolutely. But I think to Austin's point, later in that video and throughout that video, like, I don't think Barstool necessarily needs the CDL, right? They can keep doing what they're doing now, and that's fine. But it may be the other way, where Activision looks and sees, wow, actually, we're never going to get a better opportunity to tap into that specific audience and the reach they have.
I mean, I'm sure
and
Activision
let's see if there's a meaningful way to do it.
Wouldn't be completely opposed to the idea. It'd just be, you just got to get all the other owners on board. But we'll see how that goes. Nevertheless, they're doing great things in challengers, and like you said, they can just continue to do that.
And can I address one more thing in your chat?
Yep.
It's not realistic for Activision CDL to pay Bush for being in the CDL. It is fairly realistic to create a deal in which, for the first 2 years, so Activision would then cover, let's say it's an expansion. Activision would cover the expansion fee, that subsidy. The revenue share would go to the owners, so the owners would still get paid. The Activision would cover that cost. In exchange, Barstool will do a bunch of stuff for the CDL.
The thing with expanding the league is you have to convince every owner that it makes sense for them to make less money revenue share wise. You essentially, Activision, if they want to expand to 16 teams, which I would love to see, now this is assuming they don't change actual stuff, they have to convince every other owner, hey, we're going to dilute your percent even more by bringing in these 4 new teams, but we think it'll pay off in the end because we're going to bring in X, Y, and Z, and we think they're going to help grow the league and bring in more money.
Stuff for the Call of Duty business unit. And maybe there's other additional marketing dollars that would go their way, but to say that's not realistic, I think that is realistic. Whether would Activision do it is a more interesting question, but the structure of the deal is not infinitely complicated. It's not convoluted. It's not impossible. It's more of a question of would Activision want to get involved with Barstool at that level of business.
Well, it also means we would need a couple more teams as well, expansion-wise. So,
or does,
yeah, we should go.
I'm
we
sure.
Should go to 16
I'm
anyway.
sure there are a couple of these teams that are begging to leave, bro. They already care about breaking even or losing as little money as possible. There are some teams that are probably begging to get out of here. I mean, a lot of these teams were paying top dollar in the beginning, and they feel like they've been burned and they want out. It's hard to truly blame some of the teams because you have to look at it from their lens, and these teams were not cheap in the beginning. These teams were spending millions of dollars. I mean, that was a mistake to just set the market so fucking high and compete with it where they're just burning cash. But I would say a lot of these teams cared and paid very well in the beginning, and now it's like, well, look at us now. We want out.
12 is a shitty. 12 is a shitty number for competition.
Do you think there's enough interest to get to 16?
Yes, right now there is.
I think so. I mean, that would be awesome. And in previous years, I would say like, oh man, there's not enough good challenge teams. There is now. There is now.
What's saying about challengers? There's a lot of
like players to get into the league, and if there's interest, then that would be exciting.
Listen, will there be 16 good teams? Fuck no. I mean, I've been having this argument with Zinni on stream for fucking.
You can make at least 2 really, really good teams from what.
Yeah, there'd be a lot more bottom feeder teams, but
even if that's true, that is just like any other competitive product in the world. That's normal. Like, not every single pro team in every single sport. Like, there's obviously going to be a team in last place. There's going to be an organization that's cheaper. There's going to be an organization that doesn't facilitate trades. That's like the normal. That's not to say that the league won't improve and players won't get better and matches won't get better. The issue is the format. The issue is when you have shit teams and a boring format, that's the recipe for disaster. When you don't have them in like a tournament style where there's stakes, if you feel like you're watching number 16 versus number 15, and the only thing up for grabs is the seeding for the next major, that is where you're like, why the hell would I watch this? But if there's actual stakes or there's a bracket, like there's ways to make it a little more entertaining.
There's enough orgs circling the CDL right now, and I'll say candidly, a lot of them are EWC, Esports World Cup partner teams, that do see validity in getting involved in the scene for both the EWC benefit and also what the MTX revenue share would provide as an upside to either break even or make money off of their team. So there's enough out there. There's more than 4 teams, and I would say more than enough teams that I think Activision, the owners, would say that would satisfy the requirement as someone coming in. So we'll see if they want to do it.
All right. Well, moving on past that, shout out Ben for the business side of things on that one. It's easy to see that and just kind of be like, well, this guy's crazy, but yeah, there is more to it. And obviously, like, their demographic, that's us, right? That's people that love, video games competition. But all right, let's move on to actual CDL teams and schedules coming up.
Yeah.
On the other side of this break, guys, we're gonna have the latter half of the first qualifier, where teams will figure out who's gonna be in winners bracket and stuff. A couple teams that me and Ben kind of ironed out that have some schedules coming up that we're trying to figure out how they're gonna end up.
The last match was played before Christmas. It's not, the next match is not gonna be till next weekend. That's a lot of time, guys.
The league should have returned today.
People have been working hard.
Or sorry, this weekend. There should be league matches on January 2nd. That's where it's just a bit dragged out. I do think there deserves to be a Christmas break. You let the international players go home. You let the players enjoy time with their family. But I do think we should be returning on the 2nd instead of January 9th. I'm okay with the Christmas break. The issue is it should just come back a little bit earlier.
A paradigm shift.
Thankfully, we have the Challengers Elite Qualifier this weekend. I think a lot of people are excited for that. It's not official CDL games, but
in the middle of this league.
I'm happy we at least have the Elite Qualifier.
I'm just letting you guys know now. It happens every year.
So,
especially last year, we saw this. So just keep in mind that some teams you think are good are going to suddenly show weakness in certain areas of the game, and teams that were weak are suddenly going to show strengths in areas you thought that were weak. So just keep in mind that things may get muddy here.
No, and I like that you set up like that, because the one that I think is going to get muddy, and
yeah,
I'll just pull it up for you guys so you guys can see yourself. Ask yourself the question, if they lose these next 2 games, how loud, these are the 2 games out of the break that the Thieves have, how loud it'll be for that camp.
If Thieves lose these 2,
I
he's
think
right.
they're for sure losing this match. And I got coy. No, I'm saying Thieves are going to lose these, bro. I think if Thieves lose these back to back, it's going to be so loud. We could see a change before the major.
No, because they're going to qualify. Like they should be Boston, and Boston then becomes actually I take that back.
That's what I'm saying. Because, it becomes really
then it goes
interesting.
Into Boston. The Boston match might knock him in the losers.
No, I don't think that's true. I think circumstance matters and context matters. I don't think that's necessarily true. If they lose, let's say they lose 2 Game 5 round 11s, that's very different than if they get 3-0 twice. It depends on the actual match, what happens. It depends on how practice is going. It completely depends. What's up, JP? How are you, big dog?
Are the most intriguing storyline coming out of the break.
That's a good point.
And it's the most intriguing storyline because of the 2 matches they have at first, right? Because if you lose these 2 games, pressure is applied maximum, which, what are you sitting at 2 and 3 there with a must-win game up against Boston? And especially if Kenny's not playing well in these 2 games, they're going to be, rubber meets the road. They'll be faced with some really difficult decisions. You're going to be sitting on this for a week. You're going to be sitting on these 2 games for a week. So, in my mind, this is a must-win match in my head. This first one here, just for
the Toronto one, I think they need the momentum.
This is
Otherwise,
a must-win match. Because they're going to go into,
they also only play 1 match that weekend. Look at the dates. They play Sunday night.
Oh my God,
Yeah, so they
schedule
lose
makers
that. It's the
cook.
last match on Sunday. Oh, there it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Schedule makers cook. They're gonna scrim so hard, and if they come in and they fall
they got a
flat
really hard
here,
split.
This is,
Yeah.
I mean, bro, and this is beating the dead horse. I know we've talked about this over and over and over again, and there's nothing we can do about it. The fact that Thieves plays one match and then doesn't play again for a full week and then plays one more match, like, it is simply not enough Call of Duty. It's not enough. Teams should be playing more Call of Duty. You should get to be able to watch the teams you enjoy watching as much as possible. It's just 3 matches in 3 weeks. And well, I mean, they play twice this weekend. Yeah, challengers play way more. Challengers players play way more. It's just the way. I think one of the biggest issues is that every team wants some sort of equal spotlight. That's the issue. The issue with our old format when it comes to 2Ks, 5Ks, players streaming, having Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta streams, is that every team wants their team watched on the main stream. Basically equal to the rest of the teams, at least league match-wise. That's the problem. That thought process needs to change. It needs to change. The thought process is, well, if Optic's playing on the Charlie stream, no one's going to watch my team play on Alpha. That's how a lot of teams are thinking.
they're gonna be.
They got the hardest schedule in stage 1. It is what it is. Someone was always going to get, you know what I'm saying, get cooked.
Schedule makers cook, though. I mean, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the storyline you guys. I'm gonna be pushing going forward because that coin match to me, it just means so much. Yeah.
If it's rev split all the same, well, one thing you do have to consider when it comes to teams making money, I mean, and I will compare it to traditional sports, teams make an apparent amount of money through exclusive deals, like CDL being on YouTube, right? Now that we're on YouTube and CDL, or YouTube and Twitch, we don't have an official deal with any of these platforms. Just like the NFL licenses to Amazon Prime for this day and Netflix for this day. They make so much money from those deals and teams get splits. That's a big, esports is free to watch. That is a big revenue issue for esports, is that it's free to watch. You have to keep it that way because I don't think you keep the viewership if you put it behind a paywall, but it does create obstacles to where teams aren't making the money that like traditional sports teams would make because they're selling those deals. You know what I mean? Ruler with a prime for 6 months. Thank you.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this?
So rev share is not as lucrative as for traditional sport, for example.
I mean, the thing with Thieves is like people want to talk about this Omid scrum from yesterday. I don't give a fuck about that. Like, bro, Faze played Omid Brooklyn last year in the beginning of January when they were terrible and got slammed. And they didn't lose a match for a month and a half straight after that. Like, I don't care about.
Folks, Whirl with a
one
prime for
random scrim
5.
their
Welcome
first day
back. Thank
against
you.
a team that's been playing nonstop since the game come out. I think for Thieves, it's this. They haven't, it seems like, made, and it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, Tipsy, I agree with that, by the way. We should have a gambling sponsor. We should have an alcohol sponsor. We should have all the same sponsors that traditional sports have. The league needs to make money. The teams need to make money. And those are big revenue drivers. They're huge.
Happen overnight. Progress on what was going to be the main issue with this team, which is you've got a BZ, Scrap, and Paco that all very specific play styles that have gotten to an all-star caliber level, all individually. But they're all going to have to self-sacrifice in a way to play as a team. And right now, we just haven't seen good team play from Thieves in the 3 matches they played. I know, like, they won 2 of them. It's Falcons and Faze. but the teamwork was awful against Gentlemen.
I mean, I did a breakdown on my Patreon where you guys can check out, but it's the Thieves in their last match, and it's kind of like I was, I guess, more bullish coming into the year on the dynamic between Abizi and Hydra, like how they play the map, and they're not playing off each other well at all. I mean, situations where it's like somebody has to pick up a pinch, neither one of them want to go back, or like Hydra gets to a position on
The Huntsman
rotation,
Gopher,
like,
sponsored by Gopher
He
Fan.
needs to go and be a distraction, and like him and Abizi just aren't on the same page right now, and it's clearly lacking on the other sub duos. And if you guys can go.
What up, Joker? How are you, bro?
Just rewatch their game and pay attention to their two arrows. They're just not working in tandem. Like when you watch like Hook and Shotzi, or you watch some of these other teams.
Oh man, do I want to open up this can of worms? I'm thinking. I'm gonna keep thinking for a bit.
They're behind. So, and you tell me they just came back to scrims. They're about to be going up against Koi, who have one of the strongest sub duos in the league right now. So for Thieves, those two guys desperately need to get on the same page. I know a lot of people want to harp on Kenny, and you say a lot of us people who talk a lot, this protect him a bit. He needs to play better. I'm not saying he doesn't need to play better, but at the same time, you have Scrap, Abizi, and Hydra. Like he can't be the win condition. If Kenny's the win condition with Scrap, Abizi, and Hydra on the team, then that team is fucked. If the fourth player you're bringing in is going to be your win condition, that team is set up for failure. So
Agreed.
With that roster,
that's what I've been trying to argue for weeks. But
like,
people on.
But
I'm sorry. I think Call of Duty Twitter and Reddit is. I mean, it's always been a level of brain rot since like I've been following. You know what I'm saying? It's like Ghost, but I feel
not gonna like
especially
that,
now
Ben.
in the CDL era, like I feel like there's not enough critical thinkings, and I don't know if it's because people just post stuff because it gets interactions and gets like momentum. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They know if they go in there and defend Kenny, they're just going to get downvotes. But like people can't be this stupid to not
Kenny
understand
could
the
be the
concept of what he just
reason.
said.
Kenny could be the reason whether they're blowing teams out or not, right? Like he could be that condition, but he's not. If he's the win condition, there's something going wrong in that camp. And I'm telling you guys from watching it and watching them play,
every player is the win
on the same
condition
page.
at this level. I disagree with that. Every player. This is not the way it used to be, bro. I'm sorry. Every player at the top level has to be playing well. They have to be getting kills. This is not 2014 where you could have .7s that are running flags and soaking hills. Every single player needs to do every job nowadays. You need to run every role, essentially. You need to block spawns when you have to. You also need to get kills. Maybe... Did I misinterpret what they're saying there? He said if Kenny is the win condition, there's a problem. Everybody's the win condition.
100%. That is priority number one. Number two, Kenny's individual.
Let's
I'm
go,
not saying
Bruce.
it's all on them, but that's definitely that's the number one thing for me going forward.
Let's go, Big B.
What I want to see coming out of the other side of this break. But we'll talk way more about LA Thieves after they play Koi. This whole narrative could change if they come out and thunder them. But yeah, that's super interesting.
I'll probably. I mean, we'll talk about. I'll probably be pretty like with Thieves. I just think I'm always going to be a little bit more patient with them. But I think the big thing I want to see out of them this major one, even if they don't win it, is just I want to see, to your point, the team play makes sense.
Yeah.
If they're not winning the event because of situationals and whatever, understanding that's fine. As long as I see them executing team concepts together, like that shit they need to figure out at major one. How we want to play as a team.
Koopis
If we
with a
can't
prime
figure
for
that out
two.
by the end
Welcome
of
back.
January,
Thank you.
They got big
Sorry
problems.
if I butchered that.
Obviously there's some changes coming in too. Blackheart's gonna be back in, so
Yeah, but you still know this system. Like this, bro. This is a very like simple. Of all the COD games we played, I don't think this one's that complex. And
I mean, it's
the way
like,
Respawn plays.
It's like any other.
Hey,
It's like any other
CPAT with a
COD. I mean,
resub. Thank you, bro.
With Hardpoint, obviously, I feel like you can punish people a little bit more than the last game on this one. And I actually think like last game felt a little bit faster than this one. I know this one looks faster because you can wall bounce and stuff, but I think you can control this one a bit more, which you would think in theory gives Thieves like an advantage, but it just hasn't so far. But yeah, let's jump into call-ins. Yo, if you guys are ready,
Call-ins? Hell yeah.
Everybody
Honestly,
join
yeah,
the
we need
stage.
stuff like
Yeah,
this.
you come and answer some questions.
Like, bro, some of my, I don't know if you guys, like, when I used to be in the car with my dad listening to, like, Yankees radio, I used to love the call-ins, dude. The call-ins are awesome. Keela with a prime for 4. Welcome back to Zen City. Thank you.
Ben, you want to drop the link in yours again? I'm about to drop. I don't know if it posts for both.
Let's listen to some of these topics that the call-ins
Can
bring
people
up.
join the stage? I think they should be able to.
I don't know how this works. This is a you thing. You teach
You
me.
listen. You should be able to just join the stage. I don't think that the perms are.
Rico
fucked. Let me
used to
check.
call
If not,
into
join the
Dave's
waiting
radio
room.
show, and that's how he got
Nah.
hired. That's actually crazy. K
They
Money,
might have
welcome
to,
back
like,
to
like
Zen
a
City.
message
Thank
to
you.
get in here. Yeah, join the waiting room. We'll drag you in here, I guess. I think you could just join the stage call though. Okay, here we go. Yeah, people in here. This is
Oh,
actually
is this
a really cool
actually-
feature.
Is this actually Dylan? No,
Yeah.
Dylan is Dylan,
man.
bro.
All right, Ben. How do
Good.
I invite people to talk?
Right click and say invite to speak.
IRJ
All right, we're
facts.
starting call-ins, guys. The link's in the chat. I'm gonna post it one more time, and then I'm gonna pin it. Here's that.
Guys, the rules on this is like, come on. If you're coming Troy, we're kicking you Insta, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the
Just because
important
we
thing
want
with
people to come
call-ins.
in.
I do think if you're gonna do like call-ins for a show like this, the viewers have an obligation to ask like actual serious, decent questions instead of joining and trying to be funny or trolly. Like,
And
I think that's
we want to
important.
have fun convos. Come in with one question and one topic only. Don't come in with 5. It's one and done.
Yep.
Because as we start to do these, right, and get more used to this, the audience is going to grow and we're going to have 35, 40 people in there and we're going to have to, you know what I'm saying?
Also, don't
So
call me
just-
rude
just-
if I boot somebody that I think's about to go rogue, because I have intuition here, so you guys will know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get him in here. Invite to speak. Let's get Dylan here. All right, what's
Don't-
up? What's
don't
up,
just say some
Dylan?
bullshit.
Hey Ben, hey, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing good, man.
Doing
How are
good,
you?
You're doing good.
You're doing good. I know you guys saw like the Faze announcement yesterday, right? Like they picked up Alluka.
Yes.
Yeah.
This question is more so for Ben because I think he knows more about like the geopolitical topics.
Here we go.
How's this
So-
geopolitical?
when it comes down to like, because I know he's on a student visa, right? And he needs to be on a work visa because if he's not on a work visa, he can't like work and get paid here. He has to like stay in college. What's like the timing you think you could see him get in, or like, do you know like how or where he needed to go to in Germany and how long that process would take to get his visa in Germany and then be able to play in the United States because he still has to transfer his visa from a student visa
I would
to
say
the
it
work
can be
visa?
anywhere between 1 and 3
A
months.
surprisingly non-trolly question I done. I
Yeah,
actually like
that's
this.
a great
Wow.
question.
Because I was expecting some absolute bullshit.
I
from
want to know
Bill.
the answer to this, but I fear
Okay,
Ben doesn't
so here's
have
the
it.
deal. No, I do the answer. So the way it works is that they will probably have already submitted using a law firm they have contracted a petition to the U.S. government to switch his visa category, right? And this supporting documentation. That's then going to be reviewed by U.S. Customs and Immigration Service, like Homeland Security, State Department, to provisionally approve the application.
Mhm.
And then he's going to need to get his visa put into his passport. So that's what you're talking about. He's got to go to Germany. I looked up waiting times for appointments in Germany like a week or so ago, and it didn't seem too crazy. And also, like knowing Paul, like he probably knows people and they can open up. So I think him getting a visa appointment is probably not going to be too crazy. I would say for processing time, it probably is not till like major 2. I would say the earliest, based on like figuring all that out, is probably a few months. So probably not until like
I think-
March-ish when he's
I
got like
think it
everything
could be
done.
anywhere between 1 and 3
Assuming no
months.
delays and additional documentation they got to sign and back and forth and all that stuff.
And then I have one more question.
Shoot. Hey, you're already breaking the rule already, bro.
You're already breaking the rule, but we'll give you a
real quick. Like, do you think the current administration makes it harder for him to get a visa that he needs?
Oh my God, he's such a troll.
Okay, so there's the
interesting
real
question.
question.
The rules on getting any kind of visa
Cruxy
category
with
are
5
definitely been
gifted. I
stricter in the Trump
appreciate you,
administration, both
Cruxy.
1 and 2 than in the Biden administration. But I think because he
Hold on, I gotta hear his answer.
2 than in the Biden administration, any kind of visa category are definitely been stricter in the Trump administration, both 1 and 2 than in the Biden administration. But I think because I think one thing that will benefit his cause is that
Happy New Year,
he
Cruxy.
fried, and there were a lot of news articles and tweets and social media and videos and content created about
Yeah.
him becoming a professional. So I don't think it's going to be abundantly clear to whoever his case officer is that's reviewing his petition that like this guy is an extraordinary individual, you know, and he's then worthy of a work visa for the U.S. government.
Hold on. What
So
an
no.
answer.
Thank you.
What?
Mushy with 5
we got
gifted is
something like that.
15. Thank
What
you,
an
Mushy.
answer,
Appreciate
and
that,
what a
big dog.
question, and an even better follow-up.
This is not live, now it's a
Dylan not
YouTube
rage
video.
baiting us for once is actually an insane
Well,
like
the
development.
second one was sneaky rage bait, but
Yeah, but you see, I danced around the rage bait. I know Dylan
Yeah.
too well.
Honest question.
Okay, yeah. Last question.
All right, guys. Thank you for answering my questions, guys.
all
I
right.
appreciate it, Dylan. Thank you so much, go.
Bye.
All right.
Wow, Dylan actually. came
Scrims
with-
are soon,
with
guys. We're
good
playing
stuff.
again soon.
Yeah, he did. All right. I'm
Try to catch me slipping now.
I invited this guy to speak. Adjust fire.
Adjust Fire, Zin City legend.
Texas logo in his name.
Let's hear that
He's not
voice,
joining.
Adjust.
Guys, if you're on Discord, it should prompt you. Then you just click a button, whether you're on mobile
Yeah, and you
or
accept.
you're. Didn't know Nameless is a Buckeye. Both he and I live in Columbus, so we
We're
are
gonna invite
definitely
Gabe
rooting
over
for Ohio State to belt the ass Miami on tomorrow.
Yo, what's up, man? Yo. Toodaloo.
We'll give Gabo a second or two to fix his mic. Guys, make sure your mic settings are correct in Discord before you
We'll get
join.
back in here. Dirty.
So put your hands maybe before. What's good, man?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what's
yeah,
up,
we can
man?
hear you.
Absolutely.
First things first, go dogs. Fuck Ohio State, Benjay. Just come from me.
Well, hold on.
Hold
that
on,
would not
bro.
be till the semis. You guys still got to get past
Yeah,
Ole Miss.
like,
I know they. I
let's
know
save
you're
this
saying.
I know
energy.
you still remember the kick, the
Yes.
field goal that you whiffed, choke job. No big deal.
I mean,
We
yeah.
don't
I mean,
talk
yes.
about it.
And I read a bar at midnight, and it was absolutely fucking depressing. Yeah,
What
you
an
remember
asshole.
this.
Just comes in here and
I know it's crazy.
A two-time national champion. But my question is,
Not current national champion though, but it's all good.
Because we were
Yeah.
both assuming that this is his last year on his contract.
Rewind
How
it and
much
hear the
money?
beginning. Say it again.
Yeah, repeat your question. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you were Mercules,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming this is the last year of his contract with Optic,
Assuming.
how much money would the Falcons have to pay you more than the Optic would offer to take it?
How much more would they have to pay me? I mean, as much as it is every single first place that I would get, plus. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, it just depends on how much he values winning, which I think he values winning a lot. It would have to be a lot.
Could
bro.
I-
It
Don't
would
worry
have to
about
be a
us.
lot.
Let me put it to you this way. I want people to understand the economics. Right now, in 4v4 COD, the top end rosters are spending somewhere between $1 mil to like $1.5 mil for all of their player expenses and like salary.
He's getting paid a good amount.
Falcons would probably be able to exceed that. I don't think the current orgs, I'm talking about like Optic, Thieves, Faze, Gentlemates. I don't think those guys are going to go more than like maybe 1 3/4. Whereas Falcons could get close to 2. And when I say 2 is like, then you're paying everybody like 500 or more. So I think the number is probably 200 or 300K more than probably what those other teams would be offering, which I think Falcons will be able to do anyway.
Yeah,
I
but
just think it's going
the
to
thing
come down
is
to Fisher. Go ahead, though.
he like you got to factor in like winning tournaments, right? And with
Yeah, that's what I was
EWC,
with that.
with EWC and with champs, like it would legitimately have to be like 400,000, like more than to 500,000 more than what Optic could offer him. Which, I mean, even if it's doable, it would still be a tough. Like when you get an Optic, you don't leave Optic, especially like he's like the. I mean,
They've never
he's
been
the prince,
presented
like Crown
with
Prince.
this. They never been presented with this situation though. Like every time that Optic has been in this esport, right? Envy for a while was their main competition. Then it was Envy and Faze. Then it was Envy and 100 Thieves. And now you have Gentlemates. They've never had a Oregon Falcons that's just going to exceed the pricing tier that they're in. Look, yes, Optic brings in a brand value. They bring in brand and sales partnerships, which they're very good at, that Falcons do not currently have. If you go look at Teams Falcons sponsors, they're Saudi-based companies. I don't know if those deals pay out like an individual player's part of brand deal as much as Optics would with, prize picks and what other stuff they got. They have a bunch of
But-
food ones and drink ones.
To this point, it is a good question and it's an interesting one because it's also from perspective of he would be surrounded with really good players as well, assuming they did
Correct.
beat the price that Optic was offering and obviously they're going to have some talent around him. So, yeah, I mean, if you're Optic, you just get ahead of that and you restructure and sign him for longer, right? So I don't know if it's necessarily something if you're an Optic fan to massively worry about, because I would assume Hector and the Optic guys just get ahead of that in general and restructure and get him signed for multiple years, and if not at least like a 2+1 or something like that.
Extension until his off season. That's not to say he won't re-sign with Optic, because I think Optic's team should stick together.
An Optic.
Draza's not playing up to.
What's your name here?
Devon, get to the table. Old school WWF fan.
Let's go, man.
Okay.
What's your question, bro?
Hey, so I think this has been discussed before, obviously, with the whole Alluka news. But in the event that, say, Draza's not playing up to his capabilities or his teammates' capabilities, and say they do want to bring Alluka in the event that, say, Draza were to get an opportunity, say, filling in for Insight if he were to drop off, or one of the Boston ARs or something, would Faze consider just letting Draws go, or just let him sit on the bench until either Alluka, hits those growing
Faze is not in the
pains,
business of
or,
fucking people over.
them just not wanting to make another team better?
Well, your question is consider, and they would for sure consider it, because
Do you want to take this one out?
yeah, I mean, if from the organization standpoint, it's like, one, you don't want to be.
I think in this business, your priority should be doing right by the players. If you're worried that a player is going to go make another team better, well, then start him on your roster, right? This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Eagles and the Cowboys where you're paying someone $30 million so where you can justify things like this. Like, I do think orgs should have an obligation to do right by players if they're offloading them or benching them. Like, if you have no intention of starting a player and he has a starting offer elsewhere, making him rot on your bench, in my opinion, is just not right.
Spending the extra money for extended period of time, if you don't intend on bringing him back to the lineup, and then also Jaws is not a player that you want to like trap on a bench per se, or it's like just the optics of that don't look that great. But
I think the best way to look at biggest phase is like the San Antonio Spurs. I will eventually probably get Paul Hamilton, who is the owner of that team, on the show, and what will become abundantly clear when you talk
Bruce,
to
I'm
Paul,
just by myself, bro. You want to join a call? I can join TS, Bruce. I just joined Caesar's TS, Bruce. If you want to join up.
Paul talk. It's like he's in this to win championships, but also develop players, and they're not going to hold somebody back from opportunities.
optics of that
Especially
just
those
don't look
opportunities
great.
don't currently exist on their roster. So, in a hypothetical, if they were going to drop him, he has another offer, they're just going to figure it out. They've done that before with their past players. They got Alec on the team he wanted to when they were going to drop him. They got Austin on the team he wanted to when they dropped him. They did the same with Tyler Beasley this offseason. Like they're not going to just make him ride the pine and say suck it. You're under contract.
Yeah, it's also like it is one that he would get scooped up. Like there'd be a lot of interest immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Nate
But
scored?
yeah, I
Alright,
don't
bet.
think they would have him sit the bench, and I mean Draza would cause a
So stick to me like caramel. Yo.
I do entertainment, bro.
What's up, kid?
What's up in a big Z?
bro?
Business now? You're back in business?
That's right. Back where I belong. You still in Canada?
Yeah, well,
Are
I
you-
leave on tomorrow or in 2 days.
Oh,
On
shit,
the
okay.
second.
Hell yeah, kid. Are you watching this video with me or Huntsman are
Yeah, I
playing
was
soon?
following along. And then Ben just shot me out of my chair, so I had to go.
Yeah?
He did.
Dude, Ben is fucking great.
I love Ben, dude.
I love
Like,
him,
we
dude.
need him, bro.
He's
we need
great.
a figure like Ben.
Yeah. We do.
What does he remind you of? Like in like another, like a sports analyst show, like Skip
Yeah.
Bayless or something? Maybe not Skip,
Nah.
but
He's like he's like who's that bigger dude on ESPN? Real big guy. Chat, you guys.
Kendrick Perkins?
No. Bigger. You know who I'm talking
Bigger.
about, chat. Brian
Bigger.
Windhorst.
Oh, he is Brian Windhorst.
He's like Brian Windhorst,
Yo,
dude.
he is windy, bro.
Yeah, Ben is windy.
Nah, that's actually good.
Yeah, Ben is windy. I'm not sure. I don't know. I do feel like Ben's one of a kind. Like Ben just has not like if you asked Ben about like fucking rugby, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that team is good." You're like, "How do you know that?" Or like Quidditch. Like Ben just knows like the most random shit.
Yeah, like the shit you shouldn't know.
The
How'd you
issue
know that? Like,
the issue is sometimes Ben just explains it like he's teaching like a chemistry class.
yeah,
like-
and that
Like
is
he'll
true.
put all these words on it and he's like talking to like
He doesn't
the
have to be
Zoom
too-
Mafia
yeah.
chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is. He does do that. He loves doing that, actually.
I want to hear what they're still
Wait, what
talking
part of the
about.
video, Ian? What's the timestamp?
Go to
What was
108:56. 1 hour 6 minutes 56.
Or 6 minutes 56.
I wish it was like Spotify where I could send you a link and I can like control it by like pausing it.
You could just
Shit.
Discord share.
I do that?
Yeah, and then like you just only share the app. Don't share your screen because then whenever you talk, I'll be able to like double hear it.
Share the app? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me know if this is working.
Storm, if that was the case.
Absolutely, it's working.
But yeah, we really
Absolutely. All right. Yo, Dansky with a
Look at
resub.
us.
Thank you. You see. Are you streaming or no?
I'm about to go live for a little bit, but not too long. Little
Alright.
New Year's Eve, maybe
Absolutely.
a 2-hour, 3-hour shift.
The Huntsman should be getting back on soon. I think they're playing Dylan Rex.
really
and
never
them.
know till we get into that situation.
Absolutely.
It could be happening sooner than we think. Thank you for the question, brother.
Appreciate you, boys. Keep up the great work.
All right, let's hear this next
Thank you.
question.
Yeah, I just think, if you're, we've
Bro,
seen
I
Faze,
actually used to,
they're
the
willing
Codcast was
to,
the
get
first
somebody
flank, bro, in
in.
World War II.
Yeah, no, the Codcast was the. I'm actually happy they brought it back. I think the more the
That
merrier.
shit's fire, bro. Why did Nameless stop doing it?
I don't know. I do think, dude, Ben is down. Ben is down for every and any show in the Call of Duty scene. Like right
Yeah,
now, if we hit up
he
Ben
lo-
saying
yeah,
like,
he's there.
yo,
He's
me and
in.
Dashy, he'd be like, yeah, I'm down. There's not a single show that Ben's not on, dude.
You can hit him up for anything.
Besides the Tac Rab and Trey show. Good on, guys.
mean,
Obviously, big news. Trey, what do you think? You know, Rab, it is what it is, man. That guy's fucking
The
hilarious.
spot that they want.
We'll get Paul. We'll get Paul on the show, and you guys can ask him directly. Like you listen. You guys will hear him talk.
Like, yo, he
you'll
always gets
hear
to
him
people
talk
too, Z. That's like,
and the words that he uses
like
and
Paul,
like the
you
way
know what I'm
he
saying? Who
looks
the
at
fuck would
team,
get
and you'll
Paul on the
realize,
show?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's more closer to like the way Hector runs his team than say some of these like non-endemic owners.
A Ben
Like,
20v1 would feed families,
very
bro. He's
old
not
school
down.
mentality on that. That's why I love Paul.
that
Man.
would have been the perfect second
Shout
episode, dude.
Paul.
I know.
Yo, next call in. I
It looks
can't
like I'm
see
the
your
only
name.
one that
What's
has
your name,
the
brother?
bags,
You're
yeah.
the only one with the
I go by
with the
Click.
balls to
Click.
do it.
What up, Click?
I mean,
How y'all doing?
like the chat
I'm
wants it.
doing
We
good,
might have to
man.
give it to
Good.
him, but we have to wait till like around the same time.
my
Around
question
Yeah.
really
shit starts
revolves
getting dry.
around all the teams that are currently running over $1 million in salary. And
Yeah,
I'm curious to know because like there's a lot of teams like the Surge that are like 270, Heretics
Whoa.
335.
Hold on. Can I pause you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
That sheet that you have of salaries is not 100% accurate, and people don't know if a lot of those are real or not. So for you
Okay.
guys in chat that are going off of that, I know
Wait, who
Ben in
leaked
the
those
flank did the whole
salaries,
episode.
man?
I don't know.
which
Whoever
think is
did's a
kinda
weird,
crazy.
a real weird bastard. I
Yeah,
will
because, like-
say a lot were wrong though. Like some were in the
Oh,
right
yeah,
ballpark.
100%.
A lot were in the right ballpark, but there was a lot that were wrong. And I think everyone started talking about them as like their fact.
Yeah, exactly. Like people are like, "Oh, I know how much you're making." I'm like, "No, you don't."
No, you don't. No, it's
No,
more.
you
It's
don't.
more than that. You don't understand.
I'm like, "Yeah, maybe in Cold War."
yeah, like yeah, that was the 2019 sheet.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry
but
to
that
take
is-
shots,
that's weird.
but I just
oh
don't.
man, you're hating on fucking content. Crazy.
I agree with content's fun, but also at the same time there needs to be preface with those numbers are not 100% accurate, and just be careful. But what's your overarching question?
So at what point do we consider adding some sort of cap inside of the league instead of having, letting obviously the big brands, Optic, Faze,
The Falcons cap.
Falcons, all of them, like they have money that they are able to spend on, I'm not going to say big names, but great players. I mean, I feel like everybody in the league is a great player. Now, at what point do we say, hey, we need to think about
Yeah, I think they
adding a
legally
cap to
can't,
the
right?
league to where G2 or
Wait, what do you mean?
Surge are able to
I think there's some
accommodate
legal
players
reason that
have great potential but don't want to go to.
I think
What was the question? I didn't hear the first half of
I
it.
think in order for them to be a cap, and I could be wrong, I think you need like a union, like a players bargaining agreement.
Wait, I thought they removed the salary cap a couple of years ago.
They removed and they removed the minimum salary, so now it's like based on where you're operating the team or whatever. But I'm pretty sure you need like a collective bargaining agreement in order to have a salary cap. But the league used to have didn't the league used to have a salary cap? Am I making that up?
No,
They
we
used
did. We
to-
did. It was 1.5 mil for the
Oh,
first couple of years.
Yes, okay.
Then-
And then I think there was a lawsuit with the DOJ, and I think that
Yeah.
might have changed it. So that's when they got rid of the cap. Okay. That makes sense.
A team that isn't able to pay
So-
them the money.
So they tried
pause it.
early in the league.
Wait, so hypothetically
sure.
speaking,
Yeah.
So like a team like Falcons, right? That just is like known to just drop bans on players. They could just spend like
They could
pay,
spend
like,
5
4
mil per
different guys
player
for the-
right now.
Yeah, so they could have like a $5 million COD team.
100%. There's nothing there. The sky is the limit. The only
Shit.
thing you can't do, as far as I'm concerned, is pay below the minimum wage. So let's say you're operating your team in California. The
Oh,
minimum
okay, yeah, so-
salary has to be
Yeah.
like you can't
makes
be
sense.
below the minimum wage. I think.
So if it's like 30 grand, they have to pay. Okay.
Yes, yes, exactly. Nerdy, welcome back to Zin City, bro. Thank you.
Mhm.
And
Correct.
like thinking about that, that's kind of tough because then you got teams coming into the league that want to compete and have a good roster, and the only way to really do that is to like pay the players a little bit more, right? And to get them to come to your organization. So yeah, I'm not sure how they would
So
do that.
so the original, there was a salary cap in the Overwatch League and the CDL, and it was in CDL a 100% luxury tax when you exceed the number. The number I think year one was like 1.51, I think, or thereabouts. Now there's some people finessing the cap, and that's a funny story for
Yeah,
another
because you can just pay
episode.
them
But
content deals, right? As well. Like
yeah, there was
so
a finesse
that's what
going
I would
on
do.
that, and I'll explain why it never got sorted, but there was a cap, and every dollar you exceed the cap was paid back in tax. I don't know if that went straight to Activision or if it was split between the teams, but it's irrelevant. Basically, what happened is that around the same time, Activision was starting to think about mergers, and the Justice Department started investigating the Activision because you cannot have, per U.S. labor laws, a salary cap without the players having what's called a contractual bargaining agreement with the league, right? You think about the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, they have players associations that negotiate a base agreement with the league on like how player relationships work, teams work, salaries work, league rules, whatever. The CDL players don't have that. And so that flies in the face of US labor laws. And they actually settled with the DOJ prior to the Activision Microsoft merger going through. And as part of that agreement, they can't have a salary cap. They got rid of it after year one, and they can't do one any further as part of their agreement. So I've had this question keeps coming up, and the answer is like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was my question. Thanks,
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
man.
No problem.
See, like this
That
is
being
why you
said, though,
need
I
Ben,
actually
bro. Like
think
you need
I saw-
someone to explain
You
the
need someone who has
back
the
end
answers to this
things
shit.
like this, and he know it. Hey, you can say what you want about the guy. He does have a lot of knowledge, the dumb fuck.
Salary floor would be interesting, but I think that also,
Well, salary.
I don't think he's right about the
floor.
contract extension shit.
yeah, I
though.
think that also runs into CBA.
That again?
He said you
labor
have.
law
I
issues.
don't think he's right about the contract extension shit because, like he said, that you can only do in the off season. I don't think that's true at all. You can like sign in the middle of the year.
Oh
if you
yeah,
wanted
like
to. Let's say if I was
Yeah.
on like the team, right? And
yeah,
then I
like
just got
right now,
offered-
technically, if you wanted to, like if we wanted to put you on a new, I don't know, 3-year deal today, we could. Is what you're saying, probably?
yeah,
I-
yeah.
I
Like, if
see-
Your
I
GMs
think
won,
so
like,
as
you're
well.
like, if we-
I mean,
GMs.
honestly, I think we should start getting that in the works.
no, yeah, no.
Let's start getting that in the works. I mean, yeah, I don't see.
We'll talk after. We'll
That-
talk after.
That doesn't make sense. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to like re-sign a player for longer or up their deal or something like whenever you want if they're under contract with that team.
Yeah, you can do that whenever.
All right, we
Hey
got
guys, how's it going?
H.
Dan
Griff. What
Windhorse
up,
to
man?
see.
What's good?
Hey, can you hear me? How's it going?
I can hear you
Yeah,
loud and
we hear you.
clear.
Good. At the end of the day, I was also going to say it's always fuck Big Blue. At the end of the day, Ohio State's fine. So, yeah. I've been a long time watcher, listener, and I know obviously we like to talk about a lot about what we could change. I know Aches is a big guy that likes to do that. One thing that I kind of see is the league kind of screwing us out of still is scheduling, and I bring it up because Ant, you laughed about it earlier about Thieves' first game, and only I believe in this upcoming weekend being the last match on Sunday. Like I feel like there's got to be a way, even if they're not going to be 2 streams at one time. Are they telling us we can at least like move the schedule up during the day? Columbus is Eastern time zone, right? And Texas is Central. They don't start games till 2 and 3 p.m. anyway. Could we not start at 12 or 1 p.m. Eastern? And then for anyone that says,
Johnny,
Friday's a
welcome
work
back.
day,
Thanks.
we all know the COD League has different
it's a good
viewers
question,
than
bro.
just your average, worker. But sorry, I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
Well, they have data on what gets the most like viewer attention and when like
that makes sense. I would assume that
in the area and like the demographic that they want to tap into when they're going to be active and watching. And so that's what they base the scheduling off of. So like I get what you're saying where I mean it's really hard to please kind of everybody. But
Well, no.
Earlier at
The
events.
schedule fucking blows. It's very simple. We need more Call of Duty. The issue is I don't think a lot of teams are interested in moving to a situation where there's multiple streams going at one time and their organization and team isn't guaranteed a set amount of time on the main stream. That's what I think the issue is, right? Like unless you have multiple streams, there's no way to run as much Call of Duty as we need. Like we kind of need multiple streams, in my opinion. And I'm not sure the workaround for it, but it is pretty lame once again to watch. For example, let's say Optic is the first match Friday and they get a big win. It sucks that you might not see them for another week.
So that's the thing that people gotta remember. 3 p.m. is a perfect time for online because it sits in the perfect region of like not being too early for West Coast and not being too late
Ben
for
loves these questions.
European and
He
like
does.
Eastern or Western Asia timing. And then
For
the
sure. You
league,
brought up Western
the
Asia.
league events, right? When we go to Dallas Major, like that's going to start noon local, 1 p.m. East Coast or earlier, like because they got to get through more games. I do agree that I think that the way the matches are scheduled and the way the broadcast format could be tweaked. But there are.
I think
more
we
issues
should
at
have
play.
matches on weeknights still. I think we should keep weekend matches and add some matches during the weeknights at night. I'm not sure if anybody agrees or disagrees with that. I think the more the merrier. And I'm not sure what that actually looks like, if it's just the same league schedule but more, but
Wait, what's up?
Yeah,
My
there,
bad.
and I think so.
Bro, like I feel like how do you like combo this? You're getting subs, Big Z, and then like you know what I mean? Like you start getting distractions.
I'm a professional, bro.
You know what I mean? Like you're good at this shit.
I'm a professional, bro. I've been doing this a long time.
Absolutely.
I've
Let's
honed
keep
in.
it going.
I've honed in my work. And I'm not saying they should be playing every night because obviously they have to practice. But why not extend it an extra day and make it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday league matches? Right? I don't know. I just wish there was
you
a
mean,
way
like, to start earlier in the weekend.
I just mean more matches. Whether that's more days throughout the week, whether that's tournament style, like the minor tournaments are always a fun watch, just because there's like a little more emphasis on it. But I would still like to see I'd like to see you guys play a lot more. Like
I'd rather
I think
play
it's
more on a weekend. I'd rather just have more matches compact into like 2 weekends instead of just stretching it out to 4. You know what I mean? Like
if I had it my way, you kind of run it like a pro event. You have like round robin style into like a bracket on a Sunday. And this happens online.
basically a minor.
Basically,
But not like
well, yeah. Well, the minor was the minor round robin, yeah, right? Or no? No, right?
Actually, no. I think it was just. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know.
I'm just talking out loud. I'm not sure the actual answer. I just want to figure out a way where like we just get to watch more Call of Duty. Like, it's stupid to watch your team once a weekend sometimes. Like, that is fucking stupid. It's also shitty for players. No player wants to play one match in a weekend. If the players had it their way, they're playing 3 matches a day.
Nobody wants to have 4 different weekends of just league matches for the same stage. I feel like
Exactly.
it's just, I'd rather just knock everything out literally in 2 weekends. Just have more matches. Like you play twice a day, even sometimes.
Another option, which is just, the cost is what stops it, is we just have more events. That way you have less league matches, more majors, and you can kind of condense the league matches into like 2 weeks instead of 3 or 4, and then you go into a major. But that would require us to have more majors, which
would be lovely.
Which would be awesome, but it's just, this is why Challengers is exciting right now. Well, Challengers just play so much Call of Duty. You have cups on the weekends. Once you have the Challengers Elite qualifier this weekend, then you have Challengers Elite matches. A lot of the scrims are streamed. Like, there's just so much to watch Challenger-wise compared to pros.
Well, that comes down to certain number of studio days that they have to fit and minimum hours and a bunch of other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they've tested different start times
issue.
for like LAN tournaments and stuff. But I mean, for the league, I would just imagine the data shows that this is the best time to start games.
Yeah.
No, and that makes sense. But do you guys think then there's no capacity for us to get more matches on a weekend? Like, I know this is one.
You're gonna get more matches in stage 2. Like, because
that's true.
Yeah, wait, what is stage 2? Brandon, do you know what stage 2 is?
You play every team. You play all 11 teams.
So that's what it is? Like, every team plays each other once?
Literally every team plays each other.
And that's like what? Isn't it like a 6-week stage or something? Is it like a longer?
We just need more LAN, bro. We need more LAN.
100%.
That's just what it is.
We do need more LAN. And I'm not sure if that's
more
even
online free matches, bro.
I guess that's the question though, right? Like, let's say, because I don't think it's as simple as just more LAN. I think LAN is more fun to watch. It's more fair for the players, but I still think you have the same issue. Like, for example, if you have the same exact, if you have the same exact format and it's on LAN, in the beginning, it's like, oh my God, fuck yeah. But at some point, we're going to come back to the same combo where it's like, these guys need to play more.
But the
I agree.
I'd
rather have
4
like, way more
matches on a
events,
given
bro.
match day. You're going to have a chance for that crew. The broadcast crew is going to incur overtime costs, and that's going to lead to more expenses.
Yeah.
And especially in the broadcast world, the event production world, OT can be very punitive.
And there's a lot
from a
of
cost perspective.
And there's more staff than what you think that are running the broadcast for the show.
Definitely, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so more logistical
also don't
cost
forget
or something than we can account for. Yeah,
also
that makes sense.
The technical delays that Call of Duty already has, you add a couple more matches to that, and the days can get real long real quick.
We used to have like 10, 12-hour show days back in the day during those open events, and it used to work some of those broadcasts, and everybody was miserable at the end.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
I know people loved it because as a consumer, there's continuous content, but for the production and broadcast teams and people working the event, it's miserable.
Chat, I don't get OT pay. All right, like
for sure.
If I got OT pay, I would be agreeing with him 100%.
Yeah, answer as many matches as possible. Give me 50 a split.
Sorry, not to keep the floor, but just one last thing off that is, I think then we're just there's always gonna be a repetitive cycle of us being like, oh, for like the Alluka example, should someone come in and not, because literally it might be over one month, 3 matches that, like we talk about, guys get screwed for their career. So unfortunately for the new players coming up, that's kind of almost more what I'm also kind of referring to for scheduling on top of viewership. But I totally understand what you're saying.
You only feel that way because of the break that we have right now. Like when we get into the next split and the Major 3 split, you won't feel that way, especially when we get to Major 3 split, because we have the minor tournament. And then the Major 2 split, they're going to be playing 11 matches, right? So we have different formats this year, which is also kind of nice. But I think the feeling you have right now is because of this break, and it'll get better, especially in the next split.
Well, what I will say is, if you look at the current calendar,
bro, we need like 1 or 2 more majors a year, and I think we'd be in a way better spot.
There's not a big break after this split to split 2. There's, I think, 2 weeks in between Major 2 and Major 3. And then from there, it's pretty tight up until after champs.
Yeah, there's about a 10-day break in between each major in the next split starting. So,
it's a little bit shorter.
Like it goes.
Actually, no, I'm looking at it right now.
It's about 10, 11 days.
Yeah, it's about 10. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on the calendar.
Yo, when does Major 2
the
start?
interesting thing
When does Major 2
Last
start?
topic is
Yeah, the split. Would love to know that.
I
Somebody in
think
chat's
there's a
probably gonna know
1 week
that.
break after Major 1. So I think February 13th, or maybe it's like a 2 week break. There's 12 days after Major 1 where you don't play.
For February 13th, really? Okay.
More majors, I don't see much space unless you think the season goes on longer. Well, that's what I'm saying, Dens. If you have more majors, you can condense league matches, which makes them more hype because you have less time between majors. The reason there's no space right now is because of how many weeks of online qualifiers we have. If you condense those seeding weeks, those league matches, and add a major or two, then everybody has better COD to look forward to.
I don't think anybody likes league matches, bro. Like watching them, playing them.
Well, I mean, it just gets drawn out, right? Like after you watch 2 weeks of league matches, you're like, I'm ready for a major, and then you're on week 5 of online
and
league
it's still
matches,
going
and
on,
you're
the
just
same
like,
split.
bro, what
and the
the
match
fuck?
don't even matter. Obviously, towards the end of the year, it might matter just for like champ seeding and shit. But in terms of the actual, you know what I'm saying, like like the fucking playoff bracket for the stage, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
the Major 2 format.
Oh yeah.
Because this could be a
For sure.
solution where everybody's playing 11 games of split now up from 5 and 7. And if this is what the preferred format is, then this is going to check all your boxes because we're going to get a lot more match weeks. People are going to be playing a minimum 2 matches a week, like round robin. You saw
Let me see. Have the Hunts been back on yet? No, not yet.
a lot of the current scheduling problems by making the schedule like pretty whole that way.
But thank you for the question, man. I definitely feel what
Yeah,
you're
Hunt's
saying
been
here.
playing.
Even me and Ben were
They're
talking
playing
about, man, this
Dylan
break
Rex,
is a little
Eric
bit too
Boom, and
long,
them.
But
Eric Boom.
it'll pick up here on the other side of this. I appreciate you, bro. All right, let's get next call in.
But I've always felt like the problem with it is like, bro, there should be matches like this weekend. That's the thing. I don't mind
I
taking
agree
off
with that.
Yeah, there
like
should be.
Christmas week, like the 2 weeks around Christmas, but like the after New Year's we should be back. It's this upcoming
Well,
weekend that's the one that's always been like I don't understand
Also,
what we're
the
doing here.
Friday we come back, there's only 2 games. So
Yeah, that's so
And I
whack.
will not be here because I'll be watching the college football semifinals on that day.
I don't understand this break.
All right, let's get the next question there.
What do you say?
Guys,
I
you're
don't
going to get
understand
more
why
matches
it's
if
just
they
like
split.
all right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
the break is crazy.
I think they're hard. I mean, like, they're probably thinking of it from the player perspective, where it's like they probably want to celebrate New Year's. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
Yeah, but New Year's.
I've
is
never
January
given a
1st,
fuck.
baby. It's over already.
I've
What?
never given a
It's fucking
fuck about
January
New
13th,
Year's
Novak.
to where like I think you guys should be playing Friday on January 2nd.
No, but no, isn't there another Friday like after that? Like, what about fucking like the 9th, bro? We're not playing on the 9th?
No, you are. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like I'm saying, you
oh,
guys
we
should
are.
start a week
Oh, I thought
prior.
it was on the 13th.
Like
Oh,
you
that's
guys,
right, I'm
yeah, you guys should play on the 2nd. Oh, you're thinking
Sure,
about
never mind.
February
The 2nd's
13th.
crazy.
You think the 2nd's crazy?
Yeah, bro. What? That might be too early. People might be hungover, bro. You never know.
I don't know.
People
'Cause
get rowdy, bro.
I assume Christmas is the 25th. You guys start practice probably the 29th
If
Monday.
it was the third,
And you guys have
man,
like
the
5
second
days.
The second is such a like specific. It's such a perfect date to not have it on the second. If that makes sense. If it was the third on, then
Yeah, I
100%
guess.
be on the third.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
People maybe want to travel back. For example, me. What if I want to celebrate New Year's here? You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
no,
go
I
back.
get it. I mean, it's hard. You can't really compare it to like pro sports. Like some people are like, why is the CDL not on Christmas? It's like, well, the trade-off is the NBA players get paid $80 million a year, so where they can justify missing a Christmas, whereas it's a lot different for COD players.
How y'all doing?
Tully, we got Tully in the call. What's
What's up, Tully?
So, with the leak of the finances that everybody's making, and they're all within margin, of course, do you think it will be a killer to the challenger scene and also the up and coming professionals if they're not top tier because they don't see it as a long term thing that they could survive off of? And also knowing that your career lasts till you're about 27, 28 years old, you're not going to be able to set yourself up for the future making that $55K a year.
Have 4 more months.
Well, I think it's kind of if you're
It's
a
fading.
challenger player, like, and you're trying to come up and make it into the league, there are also other avenues in ways you can make money. Also, we don't know how, like you can win, but also we don't know how legit those salaries are on that sheet. I can't say this enough, bro. You guys cannot look at that sheet and base your opinions off of that, because I don't think those are that accurate. I know people are
Most of them are directionally correct, but many of them are incorrect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, of course. I took them all within margin.
Directionally, I'm with you. That would be the first time I've ever heard someone say
Directionally,
I would
directionally.
say, as somebody who was a pro and we weren't even getting paid close to what these guys are getting,
I love that, man.
no matter what, even if you are like a above average pro, you still need to be prepared for like life after that as well anyway, regardless. So yeah, I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying in that perspective, but I think these guys should be doing anything they can. They should be streaming. They should be making content.
Yeah, I mean
anything they
that's.
can.
I mean, listen, that part is scary, bro. Like it is scary that if you grind through challengers and make it, and you go to a team where you're getting paid 50, 60, 70,000 a year, even more than that, but it's only for 5 years or so, and then you're 29, 30, like with no college degree or anything. That is scary. That's why, I mean, I do think everybody should try to make some type of content or build a brand. Like everyone's like, players don't have an obligation to do so, and that's correct. But I do think you'll thank yourself in the future.
Yep.
If you at least try, right? Like
You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't actually at least
and
make the most of the opportunity.
And I don't think people truly realize that until they're in that position
late.
and they're like, fuck. Like it's so much harder to see in the moment. And then when you're actually facing that reality, it's like, wow, I wish I could have streamed more or tried to get my personality out there more. I don't know.
I feel you. See,
Or way up because
McQueen fades for all of
obviously
us.
you can't just
That's right.
be like
It
an
always
average
fades.
to below average pro, and it's not going to last forever. So yeah, I mean, to your point, I see where that perspective could seep in, but I think a
Also,
lot of these
players
guys
should
are of
listen.
the
Esports
understanding of,
is
like,
very early career dominated. I think every pro or anybody making decent money in challengers should have a good financial advisor, and they should be trying to work towards their future, putting money away, investing money, making decisions now that could help them long term. Because I do think for a lot of players it becomes real a lot sooner than they expected. Yo, Ben J, welcome back for 52 months. Great podcast. Appreciate you, Ben J.
Legend, bro. Legend, bro.
Then Tack, welcome back. Appreciate you.
okay, I want to win tournaments, and also I need to make content, which is why we're seeing a lot of more challengers players streaming now, which I think is great.
Correct.
All right, thank you guys.
No problem. Appreciate your question.
That is also something, to his point, like something that is like for a lot of players that are coming up, I hope they're all thinking about, because it is something that's super stressful when you're a pro player. You're always worried, like if I lose my spot, I lose my livelihood. So yeah, these guys do need to be making content. And yeah, I mean that's part of being an esports professional. It's a very scary thing to commit to, for sure.
How much money can you realistically invest making $200K a year for like 5 years? Well, it's a little more than that, right? Because some teams cover housing, some teams give you food stipends. And if your housing is covered and you're making $200K a year playing COD, I would hope that you could invest a good amount of money. I mean,
That's a good amount of money.
that's a lot of money. I mean, you can invest a good amount with
And when a lot
a
of us are coming up, a lot
$200,000
of people were
salary.
still working or in school at the same time, which I urge all the challengers players to do. But let's bring the next question here. Yo, Remix, what up, man? Yo, Remix.
There we go. My bad, fellas.
What's
Okay,
up?
so here's my thing. We have evidence that like a player gets picked up from challengers, a la Joe Thieves to LAG, and then works his way to a top team, and he's a beast. And he was a beast when he was with LAG, but he didn't move the needle for that team. Then you have Merc come in for Optic. Alluka's going to Faze. When are one of these bottom teams, a la Vancouver Surge or Carolina Ravens, going to say, let's just go ahead and pick up a whole team? Because picking up one player doesn't do anything for us. Go pick up Omid. Go get next threat. Like, why are we not seeing that happen?
I mean, see, I disagree with him, right? Because if you look at Carolina, like a lot of these teams have changed their their thought process. A lot of these teams are picking up young players. Vancouver took a risk on Legend. They picked up Abe. Lunars, I do think, deserved another shot. I don't think he had the fairest shot last year. Carolina, for example, has Craze. They have Lurks. Nero as well. Obviously, everyone knows. He said pick up the whole team. Well,
Like imagine that, like we want to get Merc, but like fuck it, let's just get the entire team with him.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just because also these orgs have some players that they believe in.
Yeah,
right?
there might be
So-
one or two players that that you could build off of or whatever, but or they're actually just in a fucking shitty situation or some shit. But
Like, for example, right? Let's use the Omit roster. Let's do it. The Omit roster that played well at EWC, they did their thing. Mamba, Mac, Vivid, and Craze. I do not think that team comparatively is like much better than the teams that they landed on. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
like I think Mamba found himself in a good position. Craze split off Vivid and Mac. Yeah, Nick and Sam's is good, bro. I will
feel
say,
you, G.
I wanted Mamba and Craze to stay together at least. I wanted Mamba and Craze to stay together.
well, I agree with like duos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and
makes
honestly,
sense.
there is some situations where, I mean, listen, bro, every team is just trying to put together the best roster possible. So, like, I don't think that these teams are intending to build bad rosters, right? I think if they build it, instead of picking up a team of 4, I think the roster that they're building, they're trying to hope it works, and they're looking at players and play styles. I think their intent when it comes to building teams is right, but sometimes it's a lot harder than it really is. Edson, welcome back. Thank you, bro.
Somebody got to be the worst team in the
This
league.
has kind of happened
That's
before.
right.
Yeah.
General LAG
With the RC.
famously did this in Modern Warfare 2 when they tried running back a trio from the previous
Well,
year.
wasn't the Exceed and Brack team? That was the full. Was that not the full Challengers team they brought up? It was Exceed, Brack. Who else was it?
Yeah, but it was someone. I think it was Connor got screwed for Alec.
Oh,
Like that
okay.
was yeah. Like there was a 3-person change in order to keep Alec on the team because they were paying out. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't work out. It's happened before. It's just situational. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see though in the middle of the year that's much harder to pull off than you think.
They
But
also,
like it should happen more in the off season.
yeah.
Like
Oh, it should
you're
happen
saying,
2 weeks
more
ago, man.
off-season
Like,
type-
Well, no, because there's also typically a player you want to retain. So, like, what Challenger team are you picking up where you're just going to clean
Just
drop
start your
win?
back to
Tell me
back.
one.
hold on. Okay, my
Tell
bad.
me-
Maybe not Carolina, but like
Good
Vancouver.
point, Ant.
See you later.
Exactly. But what do you mean? Hello?
Oh, Gwen's on
What do you mean? What do I
Vancouver.
mean?
What, you think they should just clean drop Gwyn? Pick up a whole Challenger team.
Oh, my apologies. I'm still thinking he's on Carolina. I'm such a fool. Then Carolina, goodbye.
I mean, you
like,
think
do
they
you-
should
Praise and
clean
lurks?
drop Praise?
Yeah, but you want to drop Lurks and Craze, who I think still they just need to find out who they are as players. So,
That's
like, you
just not how it's going to work. I mean, those guys are
We're
really
also
good.
so
hear-
early in the season where, like, I do think it's fun to talk about, but, like, for example, Vancouver picking up Tej, there's maybe Vancouver is going to look way better. I assume they're going to look better without Legend. Respectfully, he wasn't ready. So I do think it is a lot of talk very early on in the season, right? Like, you have to have certain expectations. Like, very rarely are any of these bottom teams going to consistently fuck with the top teams. It's unlikely. Yeah, they'll maybe cause some upsets, but the odds that Vancouver are consistently beating Optics, Phases, Thieves, Kois, it's very unlikely. So, like, they're all trying to find this mix of players that plays well against the best of the rest, has some upset potential, and can hopefully make some runs in peak during certain times of the year.
I hear you, but like we
Yes.
have proven evidence that picking up one person or 2 people to a bottom tier team really doesn't do much for them. The team itself, it puts the players on the map. But here's my
That's
thing.
not true. I mean,
What we
last
just
year,
watched- did we just
Vancouver.
see-
Last year, Vancouver picked up Neptune, and they were ass, and they became godlike.
Yeah, I mean, everything's situational, bro.
Yeah.
I think the point I'm trying to make, there's so much more that factors into it. I think, for example, okay, let's take Vancouver. I'm gonna give you a key point about Vancouver last year. That team, prior to the roster change in the offseason where they dropped Collar for Hixie, like they were a perennially like 6th team that year. That was in
That was looking back. That's one of the more insane changes.
That's a decision, bro.
Yeah, looking back, that's
They took them
insane.
one of the
Charlie,
decisions
and
of the
they were
time,
not
bro.
good. But the team still had good work ethic.
Yeah.
Like they still, like, their concepts were good. They were just not getting enough kills. They make a 1-person change. Suddenly Neptune makes space for the map. That team works hard. They realize their potential. The reason that I think like you're being so down on, say, Vancouver is we look at the team on Vancouver and they don't have those building blocks. It's 4 players put together. Honestly, 4 players are not known for leadership, not known for overperformance. And like bringing in Teach, who, let's be honest, the year prior when he was on Carolina, they didn't check those boxes. That's why we're expecting it not to move the needle so much. You understand like our perspective on it?
Ben
Yes, sir.
hates Teach,
One
bro.
more thing.
I don't think I've ever heard of
Man,
compliment.
on the heels of
Like,
Alluka
not a
and
single
Co.
time.
just beating LAT in scrims. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Wait,
Like, do you think that
no, I don't. Wait,
Omid could not just beat Vancouver right now?
I mean, at the same time, you'd still want to retain a player like Gwyn, and like
Maybe not.
and Lurks. But like,
Anyway, hey, thanks, fellas. I appreciate it. Ben, and you guys are awesome.
It's also
Bounce.
still
I
early
appreciate
year,
the-
bro. Like, okay, think about the LAG team from MW2. Remember that Diamond Con exceeding them, Assault. They were
And Joe
going,
Deceives?
bro. I mean, they were playing very well against pro teams. That most of that roster then went to the pro league, and they sucked dick, didn't they? Didn't they start playing like shit? They were ahead. They were very ahead in the beginning. Everyone was high on them. They were beating pro
Yeah.
teams. They
I
were
don't
winning
really remember,
challengers
to be honest.
events. Then a month went by. Basically the whole team went to the league. They had Joe Deceives, and they sucked.
I don't remember
So-
what they placed, to be honest. Like after picking him up, before that,
No, they
I think
started.
they were just
They were
everyone's getting
great.
shit on, right?
They were great at the Raleigh event, right? They played pretty well. They had some upsets. They played solid. I think they made a 3-person change.
They kept Alec, right?
I think they kept Alec. And then the team still, they had like 1 or 2 wins or something, and then they fell off a cliff and started playing terrible. Like certain teams are pretty ahead early in the year. And as these better players and teams get reps and everyone starts playing the game similarly and learning how to play, I do think the better teams start like going ahead with it, like taking
Question
it
as well.
away.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I see where
I just
his
think-
head's at, but like, it's just
Yeah.
like you said. There's more nuance to the conversation with every single team, and it's
Yeah.
You're not just gonna clean wipe.
It's just a bit more situational. Now, is there a team out there that might try like the inverse Toronto and just try and run in a roster of 8 or 6 people and like really tinker throughout the year? I don't know if that could work, but like everything's just situational, to be honest.
What's up,
Wait,
processor?
I don't. Wait, pause it real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like it's different too if a team is just running shit in challengers. Let's say if they're just winning every cup, like literally just 4 in a row, they're winning all the
Yeah.
elites. Then it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe if we're fucking dead last, we're not winning any maps. Like that could make more sense. You know what I mean? To just
Yeah.
pull the trigger on just getting all 4 of them because you're like, fuck it. Like
Use
it's just
Telluride
like-
Bush as an example, right? I think Bush
Yeah.
is playing very well. But I think if you put that exact Bush roster in the league, I think it's the same story as like a Carolina or a Vancouver. It's the same conversation. Oh, these guys can play well against the once they play against the optics and the phases, it's a similar conversation. Like it's very hard to build a roster outside of like the top 5, top 6 that's like going to consistently impress you against the top teams.
yeah. Thanks.
What's up, guys? What's up, Nameless? What's up, Ben?
Chilling, man.
So, I got a simple question, nothing like too crazy. Just to kind of rebuttal on what Ben was saying about LAT. I don't think it's gonna be that bad in the next year because there's so many good players that even if like let's say the top 12 players all go to like all the different teams, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like all the other players will still be good.
What are you
wanna
saying?
know what
You
player
saying like
that
the
I
roster
think-
that they would have? Wait, I'm trying to understand your question. What do you mean? Like if their players left.
Well, yeah, because Ben was kind of saying that like, yeah, if all their players kind of left, like they'll be kind of screwed. They'll get like the mid players or whatever. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of good players in the league.
I mean, if you lose Scrap and Hydra,
the one player right now in that situation to keep your eyes on is Joe Deceives. I don't know Joe's contract situation. I'm not sure if he's a free agent in this offseason or next offseason, but like Joe is going to be a centerpiece. The way he's playing right now, played last year. He's going to be a centerpiece or whatever, probably that second or third.
Is this Ray's little brother? Get together, brother.
Optic stick, right? And then there's another super team that forms. Like Joe's going to be in that mix. And is that going to be on Thieves, Faze, on Toronto? That's going to really dictate the answer to your question a bit. Just to fast forward a bit on how I think offseason might play out.
And to your point, what Dud said, yeah, Joe and Abizi, they obviously wanted to team with each other for a while. So, yeah, I mean, Thieves will end up still being okay. There are a lot of players, but yeah, if you lose like a Scrap and Hydra, I mean, that's a huge loss regardless. You have to fill the void.
But here's the problem. It's like, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Everybody else right now kind of has their pitch and what they bring to an org is pretty clear. And I'm not trying to disrespect Thieves and what Nate Shot's built over there. But I just think the way that the cards are kind of falling right now, I just don't know if they're as high up in the pecking order as you think when it comes to recruitment. And that's something that they're going to need to figure out positionally how to address over the next 6 months for the offseason that's upcoming up.
Well, that all depends on the season they have.
Yeah, it definitely.
It all depends on the players, bro. I don't know why Ben keeps bringing up Thieves in this context.
Can't ignore that.
Like for example, okay, let's say Hydra and Scrap leave Thieves, right? Like hypothetically. Well, they have a BZ. And then what if you can get Joe Deceives there? I can guarantee you people would want to play with a BZ and Joe Deceives. It all depends on the roster you're fielding. Like, Ben is making it very organizational, but I think when you get to the upper echelon of orgs, I think we're an outlier. I think Optic's an outlier. Falcons are also a little different if they're going to pay $1 million contracts. But players, when they look at Faze and Thieves and Toronto,
all 10 teams are like on the same boat.
As long as they're paying similarly, they care about the roster. Like the org is not
good players. That's literally it.
Exactly. I feel like Ben's making it organizational, but I just don't agree.
Champs and they want to stick, then
Ben's trying to make it like the Lakers, Celtics, the history.
They don't want to go anywhere, you know. But if they don't, how do they get over the recruitment factor that these other orgs have? Does that require Nate Shot being more involved again?
To be on a Falcons or an Optic?
Yeah, they got to figure out what their pitch is. Because like, the way I look at it, like, yeah, everybody else has got big influencers. Faze and Kason and Tommy, for example, is a big draw. Obviously, you got the money's in Riyadh. And
obviously, Optic is Methodz.
Thieves is, I think it's a bit more muddy than that. So I just think they have to sit in a room at some point over the next few months and talk through what that looks like.
Just gotta pay your good guys and pay them well. And entice people to come team with them. That's kind of the way Thieves have operated these last couple of years, and I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, all right, Process. Thank you for the question, man.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
Who's been waiting here? Let's get Riley in. Yo. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's good, gentlemen?
Chilling, man.
Dude, what the fuck is Riley calling in for? This guy loves it, dude.
Is that Riley?
That's Riley.
Just hear it, bro.
Chilling, man.
What do you got for us?
Yeah, so this one is more of a fun question for the both of you. We've been talking a lot with Hitch in the Optic camp about what would happen in a scenario where Activision releases an MCC style Call of Duty. What title would you guys like to see the pros play if that were to happen? Or would you want to see it in the COD mobile style where we see a mix of every game, every map, every weapon, just in a really
Riley does love it, bro. You gotta respect it. He loves it.
So is it like remastered versions of the game? Is it remastered versions of the game? So like, for example, like if we pick an older title, those run at 30 FPS. Like, are they, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the mechanics of this?
It's the ultimate hypothetical question.
Bro. We're talking about like it's updated. Like,
be updated.
Imagine you can pick any COD game and it's like current gen, like just like Black Ops 7.
So serious, but it's the ultimate hypothetical.
Yeah, bro. He's like, well, those games are 30 FPS. Man, we're not talking about
PS4.
playing on
That was on
360,
PS4.
dude.
Current
And will that work? You're
updated
on Xbox
graphics,
360.
everything, but they would still feel endemic to how they felt when the games were released. Similar
think
to how
chat knows
Halo did
ball.
with like H2A and some of those other games where like the core is the same, but the visuals are
Chat knows
new.
ball.
Chat knows ball.
Chat knows ball. Black Ops 3, 100%. I agree.
Black Ops 3
this
was
season,
great.
We had the most underwhelming season because we had like switched back over to ESL.
Yeah.
And
Black
the
Ops 3 actually
stages
the
were
worst
on like
format.
the
Like LAN
studio
matches and
out in
everything.
Burbank.
Yeah.
And that game was absolutely incredible.
Banner protect his
competitively.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no ban and protect though.
Dude,
Get
we
that
had
shit
one
out.
of the most lit seasons ever. We had a game. I mean, I think this game's great, but BO3 just, to me, I think BO2 for what it did for Call of Duty, obviously introducing hardpoint.
Okay, here's
and
the
how good it was,
question
but
though: Would you
BO3
want specialists in if we went back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep
Yeah.
specialists. The only thing you change is getting rid of ban and protect.
Yep. Literally. That game was perfect, dude.
Black Ops 3 was great.
The subs were happy. Pub kids were happy. Zombies were fire. Maps were fire. Comp was fire. Streaks were fire.
Black
Viewership
Ops
was
3
fire.
was sick. Yeah, Black Ops 3 was.
The
sick.
camos were fire. Literally everything was like.
Bro,
almost
you
a
remember
10
the
out of
champ
10.
stage in Black Ops 3? It was on like that
Yeah.
huge, like those huge towers.
Yeah.
You remember
my
that?
God. Yeah, that shit was fire.
with the combination of obviously the movement, the gunplay was so good, and that might be the most weapon variety we have ever had in the history of competitive COD in that game, paired with the most underwhelming season schedule we've also ever had. So yeah, I mean, for me, it'd be BO3. That would be
Black
sweet.
Ops 3. But my caveat is they just cannot go crazy with the GAs in that thing. And part of what made Black Ops 3 good, especially by the end of the season, I know some players bitch and moan about this, will like kill, and then we're doing. But that's how the beauty of the game was your ability to ban and protect. You can make some tweaks to ban and protect, make it better. But to Ant's point, like the variety and how it played meta to meta was like, I thought was what made that game
Bro,
really
Killa
good.
banned the MA against us. in the
Yeah, no, like that's
semifinal.
where
I
it got
was so
whacked when
pissed.
people were banning like
It's
stock
like
or
things like
grip
that.
I know,
and
it's
the
great.
MA.
It's great.
And
Yeah,
and
that's
I
like
had
weird.
players. I've had players come on my
Actually,
stream
I don't know.
and bitch
Attachments
about.
is one thing, but banning dead
Yeah,
silence.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what a
Yeah,
consistent
or
meta
like,
and
bro,
script,
the
and I'm
people who
like,
would ban blast suppressor, so you couldn't like.
yeah,
like-
literally. Or fast hands, like, bro.
Agree.
What?
I just would not want to see ban and protect return. I think if we saw it, everything in kind of the format that we have now.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot more
Afterburner
fun.
people were
I'm personally
banning.
not a fan of ban and protect.
Yeah, I mean, as long
Ban and
as all the
protect-
stuff was still allowed and it wasn't all GA'd, but ban and protect can work. It's just there were too many bans and it was too long going into every
That's hard to make
series.
classes.
Yeah, it was way
It'd be fire
too
if you could
long.
only ban,
And
like,
you also did
specialists.
Specialists,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's
Ban-
kind of like
ban-
league or like,
if
you know
you
what I'm saying? I
did
think
one
Val-
ban and
actually, no, Val,
protect
they don't have that,
range, here I think you do it before every map, and I
Yeah.
think you make the class selection thing easier. I think the biggest tweak is not make it a button brush based on vetoes. It's a sequential order, and one team goes and another team goes. Personally, I think it would create a very interesting situation where there isn't just one stale meta in every given series, and that's the way a lot of esports are. Look at League of Legends, especially now with the champions draft format that they have, where
We can't
you can't pick a champion in
not at all.
back-to-back maps.
It also
I'm
worked
sorry,
better
the
because
pros
we
not
and-
even
had
fucking
better
close, like-
specialists too. Like BO3 had a lot,
Yeah.
bro. BO3 had a lot of depth to it. But also, yeah, if we didn't GA everything and each team had like one or two bans, it would be super interesting. But series lasted so long.
Like for
Regardless of that,
example,
aside
it
from
would
all
be
that-
cool if someone could ban like Dashy's Tempest if they were fucking terrified
and
of
then
it.
you forced me to play. You forced me to use something else, like Annihilator, if I wanted to use it for respawn. Or like,
Yeah, it's
that makes more
whack.
sense.
It's whack when I think like the worst teams start banning things to like lower the skill gap, to, like Afterburner.
Yeah, banning dead silence, suppressor, or
yeah,
fucking-
like
that shit's
like-
so corny, dude.
like when you try to like when worst teams just try to make it RNG, I think that's when it's a bit whack.
You have to make your fucking classes for
Yeah.
2 minutes after the ban and protect.
Yeah.
But it can be fixed. The process can be made better. I think saying no will kill it. And any pros that bitch and moan and say they want a consistent meta, just fucking adapt and stop complaining.
I mean, there was a point where we were just banning stuns, frags, like just making it straight up one-on-one gunfights the whole time.
The util, I don't mind. You can
yeah,
ban the
right. That's a
util, like-
great question. Dude, the MCC version of COD, that'd be sweet.
All right, well, that's it for me, gentlemen. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm
too.
going to get back to what I was doing, but I will join you again soon, hopefully. See you at Major One. And Ben, roll tide.
Yeah, we're all tied, I guess. We'll see. We'll see if they get it done against Indiana on New Year's.
What up?
I believe. I'm a believer. I have doubted this team for a long time this year, but I'm
I
seeing
saw. Oh, I
signs
saw
of
your
life,
tweet
so.
last game. I saw your deleted tweet last game. The timeline saw it, bro. The timeline saw it. Just
We
know
did
that.
see that deleted tweet.
Hey, I
He
owned
was
up to it on
nerd raging,
Reddit. I
saying
owned up
fire
to
the
it on
coach.
Reddit.
Then
I
Alabama
forgot
took the
Alabama
lead and he
Reddit,
deleted
but
it.
That was
They
not
might
that
get
was
a
not
coach.
a start
Bama's
that I wanted
about
to
to
see.
Wait, who,
get
Riley was?
fried,
Yeah,
bro, but
Riley.
we'll
It was
revisit
like
this.
Brother,
Brother,
is
Indiana
he was
is
rage
the
tweeting saying the
biggest
coach needs to
fraud
go.
in
He
this
doesn't have
playoff,
it.
mark
Then
my words.
Alabama took
I
the
mean,
lead
I
and
don't
he
know
just
about
deleted it.
that.
All right,
They're
yo,
not built for
Tennyson,
this.
what's up, man? Welcome, dude.
Yo,
Riley's
what's
a
going on,
bandwagon.
boys? Big fan of you and Ben, man.
Hell yeah, bro.
I have a quick question for an organization like G2 Minnesota, right? We've seen them, over the past couple of years, somewhat compete, somewhat be on that 7th, 8th seed of making COD champs. Do you think there is a spot right now that they can improve in? Or maybe like even just a roster update, like somebody maybe like Tyler Fellow. I mean, you seen him trying in scrims yesterday against LAT, or somebody like Brack to pair alongside with Mamba and really help him stand out. It kind of reminded
I
me
think
of
G2 have actually looked
like
pretty
Miami
decent this
last
year,
year,
given
and
what
how
I thought
Rincourt
they'd
came
be.
in and was able to kind of be developed by some of those Miami guys and win Rookie of the Year. Do you think anybody like Tyler Fellow or Brack or anybody in Challengers right now could help Mamba and the squad reach their goal?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're just kind of asking, should Skies get replaced? Which
Pick up
is
Captain
kind of the
Pro
question.
Loot.
I think with
My
G2
next
in the
prop.
preseason that they've had,
I think Steve's been playing pretty well this
you
year.
obviously ride it out throughout this whole split because they saw potential to make the winners bracket, and they were looking good in preseason. I do think you start to look towards challengers for a potential Skies replacement, just given he hasn't been playing that well in the league match that they've had recently, and also you have a lot of young talent.
Yo, it's
who look
Pepper with a
good in
gifted.
this
Thank
game.
you, Pepper.
Their sub duo could be amongst one of the better sub duos in the league, right? So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question is yeah, and I'm sure they're aware of that. And they'll be looking down there. Brack is a guy we've been talking about. Ben and Tommy were talking about Brack like the last episode. Like he deserves a spot. There's so many players and challengers, like they're going to be looking down there. So I mean, I guess to answer your question is kind of obvious, but yeah, I mean they do feel like the one team when you look at all the teams that could be a player away. I do feel that way about them, but I'm not going to just instantly write off Skies because the preseason he was looking really good. So I'm gonna give it throughout this split, and I'm sure they're probably thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think I agree with Dan. I think depending on how the split goes, let's say they get somewhere between top 8 or better. I think even then you look at Mamba and Caesar. It's like, do you want to keep running this out, or are we one piece away from like a real true flex player to put around the superstar potential we have in Kremp and Justice Eshel? Because I think both those guys are disgusting.
Well, because
the right pieces they can really blossom.
Because we're looking at a game that feels like and looks like we're going to have more subs on the map as the further we go into this title.
Yeah, I'm curious about the map pool.
Subs
That's
got
what I'm
bottom.
curious
The
about.
sub is absolutely incredible. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. So I said that earlier.
And
like, yeah, because like I think Colossus is a shit map.
Get Utopia in, bro.
Yeah, Utopia looks pretty cool. And also we're gonna have what? Meltdown's coming back. Yemen, I don't know if I really care to see Yemen back.
Yemen was ass 12 years ago. It's going to be ass today.
Like, I'm just curious to see what the map pool is going to look like at the end of the year. I think Meltdown could be awesome, assuming it plays well in this game. Colossus Hardpoint is fun. It is. Yeah, it is fun. That doesn't mean it's a good map. I mean, P2 and P4 are the same exact hill just across from each other. It's definitely a fun map to view, but, like, objectively, it's just not a great map.
Reminiscent of the Surge team from last year. So it's just like, can you find the guy that can come in and be your Neptune? Could see a story just like that.
Fringe. Fringe actually
we'll
could
learn a
be
lot about
godlike
them
in this game.
Next couple of matches.
Yeah, Fringe would actually be pretty good.
They
I'll
have
tell
an
you what,
optic match
Bruce.
where
I
they
think
blew-
Express plays well in this game. I don't know why.
Cold War?
I just like coming into the year, I was like, Express, whatever. We've seen it a lot, and then I played it a bit and watched it a bit. I think Express actually plays pretty well in this game. I wonder if that's even like up for like a possibility, but
I think S&D maps are just maybe Raid is like the only map that people don't really fuck with right now, maybe, but just because of offense.
Yeah, offense just
being
beats you mid. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Game 2 Surge, they could have won that.
Yeah, Scar.
It would've
See,
been up
Scar
2.
is weird though, because Scar is super one-dimensional, but it's like also
It
kind
just
of
needs- you
still
need to move the
good.
bomb. You just need to move the bomb. You need to put it to like bottom P3.
My
or
only
the
worry
fucking
is I'm not
P5
even
limit.
sure if there's anywhere you can put it. Like, yes, I think if you're gonna move it, it has to be in like that pit area bottom, and that makes it so like someone on defense has to hold play inside the entire time. I don't know.
Yeah, and the other team could just plan it like kind of like throwback. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's like
fucking
weirdly,
the bottom bridge hill.
even though the map is super one-dimensional, I still think there's like a skill gap to it. Like you got to play for a pick. The sniper is super important. You can work a
You
pick
still have to
through
play the
mid.
lane though.
Yeah,
You still have to
exactly.
respect the lane, even though you can't go to the, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they could just use it. They could flank. They could go
Exactly.
mid cut.
So like
It's not like an
weirdly,
irrelevant lane.
like it's not like a checkmate where I'm like, or vault where I'm like, this is actually horrible. Like I actually still enjoy watching.
Well, I think
Scar.
of the series, like, so yeah, G2 not in the absolute worst spot, but definitely back against the wall. This split, like if you're Skies. Yeah.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, boys. Big Ohio State. Let's go, Nameless.
Let's go, baby. Thank you for the
Let's go.
question, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got two more.
I can't believe that Raleigh came on here and he said that Indiana would be the biggest fraud in this tournament.
Yeah, there.
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh when Bama gets absolutely ran at the Rose Bowl, and that game is just like.
Wait, chat, who do you guys have? Indiana or Alabama?
All these guys have already come in, right? Oh,
Roll Tide.
That's only one, right?
I got Core.
Yeah, and I already invited a Just Fire, but I think he's just listening. Yo, what up, Core? I think you're the last one.
What's going on?
What's up, bro?
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Yep.
I just had a general question. There was somebody in here a bit earlier talking about salaries, and I was wondering, how is the league or teams with helping out these young guys with, setting them up with the right people to potentially talk about their finances and stuff to set them up for the future? Because being honest, like a lot of them are quite young, they might not have that experience themselves. So just wondering, like, does the league or teams kind of help with that, or is this kind of something that the players have to navigate on their own?
I will say most used to, or some did. Like for example, Toronto, our first year, they brought in someone. The issue is I think a lot of teams just look at it a lot differently compared to when the CDL first came around. Like these guys seriously took it as like a sports team. They were bringing in financial advisors. They were bringing in
like mental coaches.
Mental coaches. I mean,
teams
dude,
even had nutritionists from what I heard.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
We were doing hand stretches, and then basically a lot of these teams lost a shit ton of money, and they stopped putting forth that level of effort and like investment into it. I mean, I think every player, like, yes, I do think the organizations, that's an awesome thing if they bring in a financial advisor and give them that option. I think players just need to know, though, like, that they can,
Should
like,
be on the players, I feel like.
Finding a financial advisor, like, it's not the hardest thing in the world. It's something that they should definitely
Actually, not
look
entirely
into.
sure. I haven't heard of a team that's had a financial guy to help them. Do you know it, Ben?
So a couple of teams, I think.
Yo,
so here's the
Ben
thing:
always
is
has the
like
answers,
I think a
bro.
couple
Yeah,
of
he's
teams.
great. He's actually
I've talked to
great.
players about this. I've been pretty much like, hey, if you want to hit us up, we can recommend financial advisors, fiduciary with fiduciary responsibility that can help you out. This might be a better question for someone like financial advisor Ben. I know manages the money for a lot of people in the scene, in the COD scene. I don't think the orgs necessarily have people on staff to do that, but I think a lot of the owners, for example, know enough people that are in that business that they can recommend someone that they trust that could then help that person structure their finances in a way that they're,
I think
gonna
players just
earn
need to
interest.
like learn how to get out of their shell and speak up more. Like, bro, I went to the chairman of Ultra, mega money, and I said, "Yo, I need to speak to your financial advisor," and he put me in
Yeah, he says
contact,
it-
bro. Like if
Actually?
yeah, he
That's
actually
fire.
did. Like if these players ask the right questions, people will help them, right? Like, so I do think if something's not given to you, you should still go ask for it and try to work on it
earn money in
yourself.
their savings, so they're building out a really nice nest egg for the future.
Be curious.
Yeah, that'd be.
Like,
I mean, when I was
I'll give
playing,
you an
that would have been
example.
really cool to have, but yeah, just.
I'll give you an example. MC Celium. MC famously in Black Ops 4. This is before MC was on Atlanta Faze. This is when he was on Faze Clan. MC didn't have a credit card or bank account because he was like an absolute. MC back in the day was fucking CMG UMG demon. Had that all in PayPal.
No shot, bro.
So we're like, bro, okay, we gotta go fix this. And then he was
Like all
like,
of
then
us.
obviously, he goes on Atlanta Faze and he's like, I don't know. So he had a Paul, and Paul recommended a guy. He was like, yeah, I got you, and like recommended a guy. I think MC's now with Ben. But again, I think a lot of these guys just hit up their people on the staff and be like, hey, like this shit's too confusing. I don't know how to do my taxes. I don't know what to invest in. There are people that can help, and they'll like introduce someone that does private banking
It
or
is-
financial advisory or
It is an
whatever.
important thought though, because I remember when I was playing, I would like go to Stro about taxes, like, yo, can you help me?
Yeah.
So that's a nice asset for some of these young guys. And I was talking to Craze, we were playing Wages the other day, and he was telling me a lot of the young community and challenge kids, like they use CMG like a bank account, which is
That's insane. That is fucking
so
insane.
there is like a financial
Nah,
literacy
he's right
thing
though,
that,
bro.
you know, a
Bro,
lot of these
when I was coming up, when I
kids
was
coming up
17, 18, like I
are
had a bank
consistent,
account,
so
bro.
that would
Yeah.
be cool
Bro, use
for
that
some
PayPal
of these
bread,
orgs
like
to
that
do.
shit
But
was
yeah, I
fucking.
just don't know. I have no idea if that's
was part of the
available
account.
on any of the teams.
Oh, look who's in the chat right now.
Yeah, he just
MC.
straight up dropped
Yeah.
MC's financials.
Yeah, but look at MCs now. MC. Ben does a good job with your money. He gets you sorted with all your stuff. You don't got to worry about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. If you get in the league, my advice to any professional players is get a financial advisor. Taxes are very complex for professional gamers because yes, you have your W2, your CDL org, but you have to pay a lot of cascading state and federal tax depending on where your winnings are by tournament.
Yeah, and
Plus
in year one of
tournaments.
Whoa,
CDL,
what are you,
it was gonna
Fed,
be
Ben?
Launch
insane for
tournaments.
them.
Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
No,
Yeah,
he's
it's-
right. I
it's
mean,
very-
it
it's
is important you have good advisors and good accountants for. Because like a lot of people, like for example, right? Like people have a W-2 contract with their organization, right? And if they make stream money or YouTube money or CMG money, that's not part of that W-2 pay. So it's important, like for example, I have like another company, like an individual company that all my other revenue goes to.
Very
Like
complex.
or
And it's a
like a
lot of. It's not
fucking
something you can
S-corp.
just do
LLC,
easily on
whatever.
like a tax platform. You got
Oxidai with a prime
figure
for
shit
11.
out,
Welcome
so.
back. Thank you.
Now
Like-
MC's got a whole team running his shit.
Oh,
MC's
yeah.
got
MC's all right.
Ben taking care of him now.
MC's
MC's
all
good, bro.
right.
That's
Ben's back. We'll get Ben and we'll get Ben on
Thanks
the
for the
show
question,
eventually.
Cor.
Ben's
MC's all
Ben's a
right.
good talk. Thank you so much, Corey.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There's also some cool YouTube accounts that just play pubs and they teach people about finances on COD. I forget
All right,
his
bro, we're
name.
out of here. Yeah, listen,
Uh,
W vid though. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. Make sure to show Ben and Ant some love. Had a good time watching this, and once again, I think the more the merrier, bro. Whether you enjoy the Codcast or not, I love that they're doing it again. So